okay, every time I've started this intro, it is just it's been cringe. Let me give a normal beginning and end to the series instead of going all wacko by the end. But honestly, with all of the content consumed from this iceberg, I'm not shocked if there's a few screws loosed in my brain now. Loosed. See, can't even speak proper English now. Anyways, what I would like to say is I'm extremely honored to be a part of this entire series, even if it was just a small portion. I don't know, it was freaking amazing. I'm just grateful for Elephant Man DMing me, hey, have you heard of the massive YouTube iceberg? I think you should give it a watch. That's definitely not what your words were, but I was like, you know what, if I could get permission, let's go for it. DM Swag is a cool dude. Swag's like, you got to go ahead. Then Potted Plant, also very good sport in this whole thing, just cool guy. And freaking, I did not even ask to be added into the little mod in his Bendy's, what the this is not Bendy in the ink machine, Baldi's Basics mod. So I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for all the people that I've met through this now too. It's insane. This makes me think about my D&D days in the beginning of the channel when Critical Role was introduced to me. This has just been such an awesome experience to connect with people. Honestly, we're human. I believe wholeheartedly in my heart that, you know, connection is just one of those things at the end of the day that we are supposed to do here. And so for me, this series was just an awesome way to connect with so many new people and also creatives, because Potted and Swag doing this whole thing is, you know, we share that creator aspect of just, you can't make something like this if you're not a little bit insane. No, I'm just joking, but you can't make something like this if you don't have passion for what you're doing and just that creativity that naturally flourishes. And I'm sure to those who are even involved in the comments or watching along have that same sort of spark in you, and is why you love this series so much. So I think that's enough yapping. I don't want to yap way too long, but I just wanted to share how tremendously grateful I am for even being included in a shout out at the end of one of the tiers. It's just cool. It like solidifies myself in this little history that has been created by freaking Swag and Potted. Even being in the mod, that's so cool. Because the one thing I will always live for and always just be about is you living in your truest expression, you mastering your mind while you're alive, and just spreading that love you have for yourself. I mean, I don't know any other fancy way to say it. It's just authentically being yourself, finding what you're passionate about and love, and just freaking getting out there and doing it and expressing yourself without stepping on anybody else's toes. And through this series, we were personally, I'll speak personally, and maybe you'll resonate with the message. I personally got to see so many different ARGs and just what people did, even if it was just them being a kid and being cringe and uploading stuff on the internet. But I just got to see a bunch of that expression on this iceberg, and seeing certain people who are just literally being authentic and posting what some people may think is some of the weirdest stuff they've ever seen, but to them it's just like this thing that's close to their heart that now exists on YouTube or exists out there on the iceberg. And it's just amazing. This whole thing's been amazing. I think that's enough. I'm going to shoot part of this today. It is May 5th. I originally wanted to try to get this out at the end of April, but I had work and everything. So, and working on other videos and trying to upload those. And like I said, my 25-year-old video, if you didn't see it, but I am officially officially entering my mid-20s. I do not know what's to come of a man, but I'm excited. And yeah, and I just appreciate all of you again. I think the yapping is done. Hopefully you didn't skip the yapping. But let's get into the episode of the Massive YouTube Iceberg Explained ending. I changed it, but let's hop in. Seriously, guys, I think if you need some solid advice where I'm not just yapping in the beginning of the video to try to get through it, to share my appreciation and say part of my mission. Um, Definitely go check out the video that I recently uploaded before this one. And yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Shout out to Swag, Potted, and everyone else involved. And shout out to Elephant Man. And let's go. Final.
YouTube's a big platform. Like a really, really big platform. With over 24 hours worth of content, over 1,500 entries, and like 3 years of researching, scripting, narration, and editing.
Yeah! What? That ain't even great.
This has been the largest project I've ever personally undertaken, and probably ever will, too. Over the course of the series, we've covered such a wide variety of things that fully encapsulate what YouTube is all about. From the popular viral videos of YouTube's early years to the heated controversies of, about 4 years ago. From high-quality art projects and animations that set the foundation for many things to come, to the not-so-high-quality art projects that at least still have an inspiring level of sincerity to them and can be appreciated on that metric alone. From obscure video games to gross shock videos, strange botnets, poorly written creepypastas, useless YouTube features that were removed as soon as they were added, insane fake cults, insane real cults, bizarre fetish community.
Insane fake cults, insane real cults. He is definitely, I don't want to mess up his flow, he is definitely nailing what this has been in the beginning.
Even more bizarre non-fetish communities, videos and channels that break YouTube's very layout, internet eccentrics that are simply expressing themselves the only way they know how, and even videos that have been completely lost to time. Oh, and a whole bunch of horrible criminals. I guess it is also a pretty huge part of YouTube too. Point is, over the course of the series, it feels like we've nestled ourselves into every nook and cranny YouTube has to offer, and I've got to say, it's been quite the ride. Over the past 3 years, I've learned so much about this now 20-year-old platform. As someone who was born only a few years before the site's creation, I feel I've grown up alongside it. Some of my earliest memories involved laughing at some of the earliest viral videos, running out of the room after being tricked by screamers, and even finding myself hooked on some of the earliest horror series. I even used to make stuff back in the day too. Old Minecraft videos that have long since been deleted, that weird Fine Bros parody I made, and yes, I even made weird shit posts to mess with people. That video was made by me, by the way. I was 11 years old. Throughout all that, though, I never knew what it was like to have an audience until I started making these Iceberg videos.
Shoot.
This series started out as a humble little explanation of stuff everyone's heard about, and transformed into something more than just an Iceberg series.
Gay!
The love people have expressed for this series has truly been overwhelming. It's very fun to read comments in particular. I especially love the ones from the certain people who comment on every single episode. You guys know who you are. Thanks for sticking around till the end. But of course, all good things must come to an end. This bad boy's only got 2 short tiers left in it, consisting of the weirdest, darkest, and most obscure content ever to release on YouTube. And after that, we'll be done. Besides the honorable mention series, of course, I still definitely plan on doing that. But don't expect it to be the next video I release. I plan to take what I think is a pretty justified break from the YouTube Iceberg madness to get a bit more experimental with my videos, so please look forward to that. If you made it this far into the series and you haven't already subscribed, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. I know I told myself I didn't want to be one of those YouTubers, like, hit the bell notification and follow me on Twitter, but reminding people actually does work, and you know what? I've earned it, so yeah. But you know what? I think that's enough rambling. Let's get right into the end of the massive YouTube Iceberg. Thank you to Jestby, Hollowed, Queen of Guagua, 80 Constant, Original But Unfunny, Bagus of Swaggus, The Mungler, Toyminator 900, Snail Demon, Salute to the Lost, Shroomish, Ezra Valenti, Retro Tome, Soupy, Username Not Found, Orcawesome, and Mika Miota.
We use this spectrum.
Whew. And right before we press play on this, my fears in the beginning of this was, oh, I'm gonna run out of stuff to say. I didn't know if people were gonna actually enjoy like my commentary. I had no idea. I was like, oh man, this is long. This is gonna be one of the longest things I do and like react to. I just hope that, I don't know, the advice I drop or when I'm being a silly goober, that you guys enjoy it. Because I was like, shoot, dude, this is a lot to react to, and I really just don't. Not like, okay, I want to say this first, you know, just to get this out of the way. No disrespect to any other reactors out there, but me personally, I really like to get invested in what I'm watching and actually show that I care. And I really didn't want to watch this series and be one of those that just sit and stare at the screen. I could not be that. So I'm glad if the overall feeling that you guys got from that was not that. And from the comments and the responses to all these videos, it seems like I did a pretty good job. Yeah. Also, I definitely plan to take some of the Iceberg, the things that were on the tiers, and make commentary videos out of them. If I don't like have anything else to do, I think that's a really good, not even like fallback idea, but like a good idea to keep sort of in the pocket. That's like, go touch on the ones that I found most interesting. But definitely I've got some like game trailers and stuff I want to get back to and things like that, and motivational videos, of course. So we'll see where everything goes. I'm just honestly riding the wave of whatever comes next. Like I said, when Elephant Man popped up with this, the idea to do this, I was like, okay, that's the next train ride we're on. Let's go. So yeah. Tier 12. Here we go.
First up, we have Tier 12, the tier name missing tier with no description available and not even a sidebar image either. Though it does have Lunky, a character created by Markiplier. That's not that deep, is it? Anyways, let's finish this up.
Lunky? Good job, Markiplier.
Yeah, that's about what I expected this far down. What you just watched was a part of About Blank, an obscure experimental short film by Luca van der Woodsen, released in September 2010. Wait, this shit is almost 15 years old. It might sound crazy for me to say this, but I think this animation is stylistically far ahead of its time. I always appreciated stuff like this, just like an artful combination of various internet stuff slammed together in a chaotic yet oddly harmonious mishmash of just like things, you know? I say it's ahead of its time because it feels like the kind of thing someone would
I like this stuff too.
make like retrospectively to evoke nostalgia for the early 2010s internet era. You know, like Skype and Windows 7 and whatever Mac OS was current at the time. It evokes a similar feeling to Vaporwave, but the era it's based on is like shifted forward a little bit. And it was also released in that same era too. Also, this video features just like straight up porn, so you know, that's pretty cool. Luca van der Woodsen's other works on this channel are fairly similar conceptually to About Blank. I would really recommend watching these videos if they look interesting to you. Smashing Stuff is a channel created in 2018 by what appears to be a 10-year-old boy, or possibly even younger. The channel's videos exclusively feature him smashing random objects with a golf club, and other various blunt objects, although sometimes he does other stuff like destroying a DVD by dribbling a basketball on it, as well as microwaving a Wii U. Now,
that is wild.
Not to be that one friend who's too woke or anything, but this doesn't exactly seem like the safest thing for a child to be doing. Like, where exactly is he? The walls are unfinished, which makes it seem like it's some kind of a shed. It's decorated with what appear to be posters that he made himself for various game consoles. Littered across the table are, like, broken glass shards. And on the floor, oh my god. Where are this kid's parents? People on Reddit seem to theorize that the kid's parents are like meth heads just based on general vibes, and I could definitely see that. We obviously don't have any information on who this kid or his parents even are, so I don't know. Something's definitely up with him though. I guess I'm at least glad he didn't get himself electrocuted.
Imagine that it wasn't though, and it was just the complete opposite of what everyone thought. He's just a kid where his parents built him a rage room, and he has extremely rich parents, and they just keep him in the basement. No, I don't know why I said the basement.
Abashed99 is a channel that definitely seems like what an ARG/art project entry is like this far down in the iceberg. First Take is the first video on the channel, and they seem to just be filming a dark area of their house. There's also Noisy Sound, which...
Switch over to this. What the
Okay, I guess. And the most recent video on their channel is Thank You All Cannot Ask For Much, which features him sitting cross-legged on the floor, and his body language seems upset, I guess? I don't know, that's about all I have for this channel. Seems like another failed horror web series.
How does Potted Plant even find a channel like this? Potted's a goat, that's why. American hero high on
So
life.
this video marks the very bottom of the iceberg, right? And you might have noticed a trend being that the entries get progressively less substantial as we go further. Thanks to the fact that a lot of these entries are just on a huge level of obscurity, most of them have barely any information pertaining to them, or straight up have no information or archive. I mean, for fuck's sake, even the tier's name is missing. Like, come on guys. American hero high on life is one of the many cases of this. I can't find absolutely anything on the internet with this title. Searching up American hero high on life in quotes only results in stuff related to the massive YouTube iceberg. I searched Google, YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, and even 4chan, and found absolutely nothing. This is another one where even Potted Plant has forgotten what it was over the past 4 years as Iceberg has existed.
I've completely forgot what this channel is. It's so cryptic, it's difficult to remember what a lot of them are. Oasis time, WMV tends to eat content from this tier often, so yeah, seems like it'll unfortunately be pretty bumpy to research.
However, according to my buddy Seal, there used to be a video that existed on this website of someone browsing various entries from the massive YouTube iceberg, and they might just have found what this entry was referring to. It was a channel that was renamed at some point, and also probably has a lot of deleted videos, but American hero high on life is now called Longevity Planet Earth. This channel features 3 pretty incomprehensible videos with double-digit view counts, like a video called In Loving Memory Queen Elizabeth II, which actually seems to be a PSA on global warming. The channel description links to a website, habitatmedicine.clinic. This is a bizarre health-related website with various health tips vomited out haphazardly in some South 32-esque web design. Since it's called Habitat Medicine, I think it's safe to assume that another missing entry from this iceberg, Medicine Habla Español Habitat Medicine, is also one of this website's many other channels. Habitat Medicine also might remind you of another entry on this iceberg that we talked about all the way back in Tier 9, being Court K. This is because these are all most likely alternate accounts of Dr. Edwin Zong, the man behind the Court K mystery. So yeah, that's 2 mysteries solved. Before I move on, this seems like a good chance to
Hold on a second. I just went down a deep rabbit hole. In self-defense, bro. Wait, didn't we learn about this guy before, or am I getting deja vu?
Court K mystery.
Interesting.
So yeah, that's 2 mysteries solved. Before I move on, this seems like a good chance to bring up that some of my viewers actually helped me out on some missing entries from the last video. The airport interviews was apparently a video where people went around in the airport and interviewed kids, and they explained some creepy pedo stuff and satanic rituals that they experienced. That's probably the best we're gonna get for that one. Sunflower's Revenge actually did have an archive available in the form of a Deadwing Dork video called The Curious Case of the Freedom Creamings. And yeah, the
curious case of the Freedom Creamings? What?
video description I read off in the last video was pretty descriptive.
Okay, now, mysterious lady, Pi, Mara, and Hannah.
Yeah.
And Gary's Realm was actually found by this person in my comment section, Zach Gerald, about 7 months ago, and I just never saw it. Gary's Realm is a channel that's now called Provocative Perspectives, and it still has all of its videos up, and some of which are as old as 2006. It's some pretty classic weird YouTube humor.
Where the fuck is Gabby? I heard him last night hanging out with some whore. Gabby, wake up! There's work to be.
As for gnome channels, yeah, I still got nothing.
What in the hell? Oh my gosh.
Some people theorize that it had to do with this thing called gnome hunting, which is a trend going around TikTok in early 2023, where people would pretend to hunt for gnomes, and it was supposedly a Nazi dog whistle for hunting down Jewish people and anyone else who wasn't Aryan. That's most certainly not what the entry was referring to,
wait,
just judging off, chronology, but it's possible that YouTube nuked all mention of gnome collection in response to the controversy, and innocent gnome channels were caught in the process. So yeah, that's pretty much every mystery solved, I think.
Damn. Sag. Jackie Stacy.
There's a lot of chaos.
Who is doing the editing for these ads? There's a lot of chaos. Boom, doom sound effect. What the fuck?
Well, that was fucking creepy. This video, Ashley Nicholas and Vanessa Nicholas, was uploaded by Alyssa May. Now, I think this guy's whole deal is that he pretends to be women, not a woman, like women. He always uploads these videos featuring real women he must have pulled off of Facebook and just pretends to be them. Although he's never consistent on which women he's actually pretending to be, so he's not really fooling anyone. In some cases, he even pretends to be 15 years old. This guy was originally found on 4chan to little fanfare, but it was then reposted to Reddit on r/Internet Mysteries, where they did a lot more digging. Apparently the guy's name is Jordan Glass, he's from Texas, and he has some serious mental deficiencies, as how Redditors describe it. The woman he seems to be focused on the most, though, is who he named this channel off of, being Alyssa May, which I believe the channel used to be called Jackie Stacy, and that's why it's called that in the Iceberg. Anyways, Alyssa May is apparently a real person who lives in Texas. He's made videos about her, named social media accounts after her, and even created her as a me, along with random other women. One of the creepiest videos he has across his many accounts is called "Do You Want to Take a Closer Look of My Beautiful 6-Year-Old Girl Named Alyssa" from 2010, where he zooms in on an image of what appears to be a literal 6-year-old girl, presumably Alyssa May from when she was 6 years old. Yeah, that's really fucking creepy, isn't it? People in the comments of the Reddit thread definitely seem quick to point out that he probably just has some mental disability, but even still, it could be possible that he's genuinely stalking women, even with his disability. He's yet another channel that still posts to this day, and no one has really done anything about it. To my knowledge, I'm the first person on YouTube to even cover it.
Interesting. That like shot of the me
Mr.
character going
McBumhole,
like
from
that
what I
was
understand,
creepy.
seems to be the Yellow Pee-Pee Monster's protege. He has, or rather had, pretty much the exact same gimmick. He goes to random public places and just pisses everywhere. Unlike the Yellow Pee-Pee Monster, however, Mr. McBumhole is far more vocal while he films his videos.
You know, now seeing this now, just like, why do this though? Bro, like, I don't know. But see, this is exactly why. Since this 25 years of living my life, I have not let my ass cheeks touch one of these toilet seats, bro. Not a single seat. And I am super proud of that. And I hope you start now because of people like this. I know that there are people that probably go around and do this and don't record it, because I have seen like college like bathrooms that are like just absolutely trashed. Like, because I would deem this trashing a bathroom, a public toilet. It's just, I don't know. I don't get people, man. I don't get this.
He also seemed to branch out a lot further than his predecessor. While the Yellow Pee-Pee Monster pretty much exclusively performed his work in the bathroom stall, Mr. McBumhole would take it a step further, first pissing on the sinks and paper towel dispensers, then pissing all over elevators, shopping.
Damn, well, I guess I'm cooked. The paper towel holder. Damn. I do wash my hands and the sink. But you know, actually, I might still be good. At least, you know, kind of 1 out of 3 of those, because I'm the type of person to take the paper towel, rip a little bit, then push the dispenser with the paper towel in my hand and turn on the water with the paper towel I'm holding, wash my hands, the soap dispenser, grab that little paper towel. Yes, I go above and beyond, man, because I don't know. I'm not like a germaphobe, but you just never know how clean those stalls are. You know what I'm saying? And also, of course, rocking with me right here. Let's go to the first. Gotta always have some hand sanitizer with you. This one is the special alloy edition. Hold on a second. I thought it was open. I thought I was gonna squirt all over my pocket. That's what she said. But you know what I'm saying? You gotta be prepared for things like this. And shopping carts. That's, how do you even get around the shopping carts? Oh, he's at the ones outside. Look, that had the protective, like the white. Why did those have that, I wonder? Wind conditions? Like weather conditions? Oh, I said wind conditions. That's like the most realistic understanding, I think, right? Why these shopping cart things had that like little greenhouse dome they lived in.
Carts and even people's cars from out a second-story window. According to this archive I found of some of his videos, though, they're actually fake and all done with a water bottle. However, they also clarify that they're saying this for legal reasons. It definitely looks like they could be fake, but like, I don't know. These videos are fairly hard to find, and I can only find them through archive.org and peer.
I like to think these dudes are rare, are really rare.
Tube, which honestly I had never even heard about before writing this. User 64342 is a channel that...
From the profile picture, this looks like it's going to be some NSFW stuff.
Joined in 2017 and has around 400 videos. It's supposed to be a vlogging channel, judging from this channel description, but almost all of these videos have her dressed in this strange mask, not too dissimilar from other channels in this Iceberg, like CC Lemon or Wet Look Cosplay Princess. These realistic face mask channels, which again aren't new to this series, are usually created for fetishistic reasons. This one is possibly different though. I didn't watch every video, but of the ones I did watch, none of them seemed very sexual, even if they were in a similar style to the others. If anything, it seems like it's going for more of a creepy horror series vibe rather than a sexual one, which yeah, if I've learned anything from this series, it's that every channel in this Iceberg is one of those two things. I'll leave you guys to figure that one out.
I'm gonna say that one's I don't know. That one kind of looked like horror. Let's go with horror. Eyes wide open.
Eyes Wide Open is a 4-minute long animation posted to YouTube in 2007 by RT Sriram. The story follows a little boy named Roscoe as he tries to sneeze with his eyes open. He eventually manages to do it, and then his eyeballs fall out of his head, hanging by a string around his waist. Then he sneezes again and starts to summon random objects from around the world onto the ground in front of him. He keeps doing it and eventually destroys the entire world because of it. Apparently this was made by the Animation Club, an animation group headed by the uploader. The animation definitely looks like 2000s web animation, but it's still pretty charming.
Okay, that one was cool.
Globeland is a video uploaded in 2011, but the description states that it's as old as 2002. Now, the act of describing what's going on in this 10-minute long video is a lot more difficult than it sounds. It's very psychedelic and abstract, and all I can really say for certain is that there's a lot of rotating spheres, or I guess globes, with random textures, and also a lot of geometric shapes with textures too. Would you believe me if I said there was a Globeland 2, which is
My brain felt like it was being stretched.
equally as abstract and uploaded by none other than famous YouTube animator and musician Ratboy Genius. Yeah, it was one of the first videos on his channel. Apparently the first Globeland was also done by him, and yeah, wow, I did not know Ratboy Genius was that old. Now that I know who made it though, it kind of makes sense it would come from the same mind that brought you Potato Knishes. Glow is a channel on YouTube that was created back in 2015. This one seems to be a failed ARG, and honestly a pretty boring one. Some videos were uploaded over the span of like 2 weeks, all of which being these sets of numbers, and then the final video was just the uploader filming the sky for a few seconds. Oh, and there was also play_ABC, which was probably the most interesting video on the channel, which is probably because they didn't actually make it, and it's from a short film made by David Lynch when he was still in college called The Alphabet. Besides that, all that's left to talk about with this channel is the mega link in the description, which has since been taken down. So I think they kind of just wanted to get on Scare Theater, which never ended up happening, so they were kind of doomed to obscurity, never getting covered by a YouTuber.
Damn.
I mean, till right now, I guess. Yeah, 10 years later, and a YouTuber is finally talking about their ARG. Hope it was worth the wait, man.
Hope it was worth the wait, man.
Ranty Me and Tonka Trucks is a video uploaded by YouTube user Scarns in 2008. According to the description, the video was inspired by a film he had just watched called The Aristocrats. This film, he mentions, is a documentary about the famous joke of the same name and features 100 different comedians telling it in a different way. For those who don't know, the joke is about a family going up to a talent agency and requesting to book an act. They then describe the act, which involves basically every taboo subject the joke teller can think of, you know, just being as obscene and offensive as possible before finishing it off by naming the act The Aristocrats. It's a really old joke, dating back centuries. Scarns here, I guess, is just trying to put his own spin on the joke, but it ends up being him sounding like a child whose parents just allowed him to start swearing.
Hello, my name is Scarn, and I would like to say to you lot, fuck you. Fuck you all in the arse, because I think you all lick my nuts. Cunt, fuck, cunt, lick balls, get shit, set. I want to call over your mum, slit her throat, and shag her hole. A Tonka toy. Yeah, Tonka toy in the anus. Ram that in. Go on, fucking ram it in.
He says swear words so like weirdly.
Guys, I don't have words this far. I don't have words. I don't know.
I don't get it. It's kind of like this guy tried to kill his friend's parents a year later.
Whoa. Yeah. What? The Iceberg, in the end, is still never ceasing to amaze me. What the that makes does that make any sense?
Yeah, it turns out the man who made this video was British 19-year-old Sean Scarns, who in 2009 went to prison for attempting to kill the parents of his internet buddy, Christopher Monks, after Monks had asked him to do so. They met in November of 2008, just a few weeks before the release of Ranty Me and Tonka Trunks.
Unemployed Scarns. Why did they put unemployed in the beginning? That feels so foul. Yo, that's fucking hilarious.
Furry for Life, a furry social media website. Monks described his parents as extremely overprotective, and he felt trapped in a cage, as he said, so he wanted Scarns to come save him, and they could walk off into the sunset and live happily ever after. However,
you know, like, literally, my dude could have, like, I don't want to say anything like this. I don't know if they're both in jail. I don't want to, you know, get hunted by people like this. But, you know, all you can do is just, you know, level up on your parents. Like, I feel like the best revenge for anyone is success. And it doesn't even have to be like the best revenge. We could word it different, man. I don't know. I definitely am not, you know, being ignorant to the fact that people like this probably clearly have some sort of mental disability going on. So I'm not going to be ignorant. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, if your parents make you feel trapped, you just gotta run away from home. Why do you gotta kill them? I don't know. Maybe some people, they're getting done very bad. I don't have all context. I'm gonna stop right there. Let's keep going.
the parents actually lived and even testified in court in support of their son. Now, why would Scarns do this? Surely he didn't really get anything out of trying to kill his friend's parents, right? Well, as a matter of fact, he would have gotten something out of it. Scarns wanted monks to bite his dick off. No, this isn't me describing normal, wholesome oral sex in some humorous, hyperbolic way. He literally wanted monks to chomp his teeth down on his penis and rip it off. Of course, he never got to do this since Scarns never actually killed Mr. and Mrs. Monks. What an insane story for such a seemingly innocuous video. You never know what you'll find on the internet. It is an innocuous video, by the way. Something that annoys me about how people talk about this video online is that they'll say some shit like, is it any wonder that he would do something so horrible when the video is so deranged? And it's like, not really. Like,
not
no context.
Really. No, not really. No, very, very true. It was just kind of cringy and funny. That's why my reaction was the way it was. You would not have watched this video and known that. Like, I mean, like, yes, there's a possibility, but then I kind of question the person who's making that judgment. Anybody just cursing and being like very cringe, who also seems very young on a video, is enough evidence to them being a just deranged individual? I don't think it is, but
he's just like saying a lot of swear words because he saw it in a movie. It's like saying this shit is scary.
YouTube has gone to shit because of Google. YouTube used to have no fucking ads.
Sir, this is really inappropriate.
It's called AdBlock Pro for Google Chrome.
Two shits about 3 fucks.
what was that? But yeah, I guess that did help the point, but what the fuck was that video?
Investigator Zeus, now renamed to just Zeus, is a channel on YouTube that doesn't seem like a failed ARG and is instead just a bunch of creepy and abstract videos. Maybe there's meant to be a plot, but if there is one, it's very loose.
It's lost. Lost the plot.
Yep. Loose Zeus. Loose Zeus, Goose Boos, Moose. Yep. Interestingly, Zeus seems to be buddy-buddy with a channel we literally just covered earlier in this tier, being user 64342, even featuring in one of their videos. Maybe the mask thing isn't a fetish and it actually is meant to be creepy? I don't know. Whatever the case, I hope Zeus is okay.
I went with creepy. Everybody
is a surreal animation created by Jesse Mott and Steve Reinke in 2009. It features several hand-picked animals as they discuss their feelings about body dysmorphia and reconstructive surgery, and then occasionally dance to Madonna for some reason.
Stop staring, all of you. There won't be enough room for you to climb in. I'm too small in the necessary spaces. Your gaze fills me with deep shame. Come on. Come on.
Jesse Mott seems to have a lot of other projects like this, like Blood and Cinnamon and A Day of Cake and Accidents. It's just kind of her style.
Hey. Nicholas O'Neil Bloom.
Nicholas O'Neil Bloom is another surrealist artist on YouTube. His videos usually feature esoteric visuals with him voicing over, ranting about art or technology or something, I don't know. There's another case where people's first instinct are that he might be mentally ill, but in reality he's most likely just making weird outsider art for the sake of being weird.
It actually seems pretty clean. Like, that seems like there's a lot of
Weirdos effort. TV is a YouTube channel which
seems like he puts a lot of effort into his art. Weirdos TV
is around 15 years old and is run by this floating head who calls himself the Head Weirdo.
Welcome. This is the promo for my TV show. The TV show is called Weirdos TV, and I'm your host, I'm the head weirdo.
Initially, I couldn't make heads or tails of this. Despite each video averaging in the double-digit range for views, his channel uploads 30-minute videos on a consistent weekly schedule, which he has been doing so for years. They also have a 24/7 live stream, which seems to just replay the existing videos on the channel. And the videos are really fucking weird, which, I mean, yeah, why else would it be called that? The head weirdo just kind of rambles nigh incoherently about random shit, or improvises songs while psychedelic visuals flash on screen. Currently, the Weirdos.tv series is around episode 2500, but the channel hasn't even reached 500 videos. The whole thing is honestly kind of hypnotizing. I actually really do fuck with the visual style, probably one of my favorites on the tier. When talking about this channel, people seem to kind of act, for lack of a better term, weird about it. I mean, to be fair, almost no one talks about it. I haven't seen any discussion of this channel online before the release of Potted Plants post, but those who do seem to try to investigate it as an internet mystery and posit that maybe this guy is mentally ill. The Reddit Bureau of Investigation wanted to get to the bottom of this, and their top researchers and digital sleuthers toiled away endlessly for hours, searching every nook and cranny for what could possibly be going on with this channel. And by that, I mean literally everything you could need to know is explained on the website that's in the channel description. Weirdos TV is primarily a public access TV show broadcast on the Manhattan Neighborhood Network Channel 3 every Saturday night at 11:30 p.m. Every episode is 30 minutes because I would assume he bought a 30-minute time block. The head weirdo is played by Jeremy X. Halpern, a resident of Manhattan, and listeners can call into his hotline, 1-800-WEIRDOS, where they can talk to him and ask questions. Weirdos TV definitely gives off 1990s public access television vibes, even though, according to this Weirdos history timeline of events, the show didn't start until 2011, the first episode being episode 1101, not the first episode. The site has a Web 1.0 look that I really do like, and I'm not quite sure if it's intentionally crafted aesthetic he's going for, or it's just a really old website. I've seen tons of old web pages that look exactly like this, but I've never seen one that also mentions TikTok. On the site, he gives a ton of information about the show, including why he created it in the first place. In short, I think he just likes being weird. In his own words, it brings him endless pleasure and essentially costs him nothing to do, and it feels like a perfect expression of everything he loves to do most as an artist, such as improvisation, mixing, and live processing. He even lists artists he's inspired by, such as Ken Nordine, Frank Zappa, Brian Eno, and Butthole Surfers. He seems like a very genuine and cool guy. I don't think you need to really—
Please don't tell me this dude is weird. Just end this one fire, because so far, this is probably the most interesting one so far to me on this tier.
Be severely mentally ill in order to make weird art. I mean, I'm sure it helps, but people just kind of see any kind of strangeness on the internet and think, dude, this had to have been made by some crazy person. Were they on drugs when they made this? I feel throughout this series that even I have been guilty of this in some ways. I've kind of led some certain entries on channels with the fact that the person making the videos are potentially mentally ill. While in some cases it's true, it doesn't really feel necessary to lead with that, especially when sometimes I don't even really have any evidence to confirm it. Again, some people are just weird because they like being weird and don't like following the conventional norms of how art should be. And to me, that's kind of fucking badass.
If you're happy that you're weird, then you're good weird. If you're scared of being weird, then you're bad and creepy.
Meet the new standard.
What the fuck? Nah, he was freaking awesome. He was freaking
Idika
awesome.
no Yumere Sayonara, or Goodbye to the Dolphin's Dream, is both the name of a YouTube channel and a website, both created by Vocaloid music producer Atols when he was a teenager, though here he seems to take this persona of a crudely drawn pink-haired anime girl. This single picture of this pink-haired anime girl. The YouTube channel pretty much only consists of 2 albums, Goodbye to the Dolphin's Dream 1 and 2, and promotional videos for said albums. The music itself is fucking insane. I listened to a handful of random songs on these albums, and there are definitely some songs I like to listen to, like Kanun, the 26 track on the first album. A lot of these tracks are not exactly the kind of thing I'd listen to. Maybe I'm just not intelligent enough for this kind of dance music. I do love me some Sweet Trip, though. Despite not being the kind of thing I would throw on a playlist, I can definitely respect it as a piece of art. The website is even weirder, having featureless scrolling squares that you can click on that take you to these random pages. The website's actually pretty cool. There's some really well done abstract artworks around here, and also some things that just straight up assault your senses. If you have epilepsy, just don't go to this website at all. Apparently, each of these pages also used to have audio, and there were some screamers littered about the site, but the audio seems to have broken at some point over the years. The first album came out in 2016, however, the website supposedly dates back to around 2004, according to the Screamer Wiki. So maybe it started as a visual art project and then didn't become a music project until a little over a decade later. I don't know.
What the fuck?
You have to be free as a Cryptic ARG with not a whole lot going on. Every video has cipher puzzles and Morse code and flashing images and shit like that, you know. Nothing we really haven't seen from an ARG before. At the end of Prisoner, the final episode of the series, PNGs of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles flash on screen for some reason. That's kind of funny, I guess. Is that funny? I don't know. Unknown Sunrise is a mysterious YouTube channel created in 2016, and through the next 5
Guys, what the fuck what is going on? This part, okay, I can't say anything. These entries so far have just been like, kind of like, what the fuck? I don't know. I think that's the best way to describe the end, is like, what the fuck? Also, but a good wrap up on the series. And we still have so much more to go, so I'm just gonna keep my mind open.
5 years after that,
Or should I keep my mind closed?
would upload over 400 videos, each one being 1 to 10 seconds long and featuring a different set of glyphs every time, most likely being a cipher of some kind. Each video is titled
A World is Born, The Romance of an Old Fool, The Bitter Meads Mystery, The History of the Fabian Society, Camping at Cherry Pond, what the fuck? True Manliness, right below The Angel in the House.
be a random, usually obscure, sometimes religious piece of literature. The only different video on the channel is the last one, Submissions Have Been Closed, where they explain that submissions have been closed and communications through the channel will cease. Even though no one seemed to know that the videos were even submissions in the first place. Now, what really was this? Probably an ARG, right? One that most likely never got traction. It is a subreddit dedicated to solving the cipher and was also featured in a Goose Boost video. However, neither of these things really resulted in a lot new being learned about the channel. I believe the subreddit seemed to settle on the idea that most of the symbols are actually Vincan symbols, which are found on artifacts from the Neolithic era. However, what the symbols actually mean still remains an indecipherable mystery. Whether or not these symbols actually mean something, or if they're just random shit thrown up on YouTube, is unknown. Or at least that was until 2023, when the creator of Unknown Sunrise actually came forward. The video was uploaded on April... Right. This guy actually had nothing to do with Unknown Sunrise and was just trolling. We still don't know what the deal is with the actual channel, and unless the actual creator comes forward, there's a chance we never will.
X missed.
Yeah, so that was Welcome, a video uploaded by a channel called Xmist in May 2021, just 2 months before the massive YouTube Iceberg was posted to Reddit by Potted Plant. The channel description reads similar to the video. X is real. I'm an official cultist. X and admin is my boss. Pray for X. He's our god, our glory, our
Just gonna play the safe, just play the ARG card here and say it's a failed ARG, maybe, possibly. I don't know.
Now, who might be this X that they're referring to? There's a lot of potential answers to this question, so someone in the comments asked directly. Just stumbled across this through an Iceberg chart I saw on Discord. Could you maybe tell us who/what X is, or where we can find more information about X? This video and channel is intriguing. And Xmist responds, search Sonic EXE on Google. Yep, it's another Sonic EXE entry. In the last video, we covered the other one on the Iceberg, and I recount saying that I hoped it was the only one, but lo and behold, here we are talking about that bastard again. I swear to God, this wasn't even scripted. I said that genuinely thinking it would be the only time I would have to mention Sonic EXE in this series. I should have expected the unexpected this far down, I guess. By the way, I just explained every possible bit of information surrounding this channel in less than 60 seconds. All the comments seem to be saying that they came here from the massive YouTube Iceberg, which makes sense. I mean, that's why I'm here too. I can only assume that this was some video with 5 views when Potted Plant found it. Sakes100 is a channel that I am the 666th subscriber of, so that's how you know it's a really evil channel. It has around 28,000 videos, and from what I can tell, every single video is just random numbers and letters with a tornado siren playing. As far as I know, there are no deviances from this format, just the same thing over and over again.
This reminds me of like the codes that you get, you know, if you ever worked for a company or something, and they like scramble your password, or even if you're making, yeah, like, no, that works. If you're working for a company and they scramble your password, or even like a temporary password, this feels like a generated temporary password, like when iPhone suggests you a password or something. But if it had some actual meaning, that'd be crazy. Maybe like what the word sawn means before all of it. It's like sawn and then the weird lettering.
And probably made by a bot. The most interesting thing I have to say is that the dimensions of the video are usually literally the dimensions of whatever image of numbers and letters they're using, so YouTube's layout doesn't know what to do with itself sometimes. Besides that, not much else to this one, so moving on.
Okay, X in a hotel.
Sex and Hotel is something I could only find information on from this particular Reddit post posted to r/weird YouTube channels. Reddit user MetaEXE describes it as a series of bizarre YouTube channels. So I found one of these a while back. I think I was recommended an 11-hour video with very little views and was curious. It had some obscure name, probably the file name, and it was from a channel called Sex in Hotel. I was intrigued, so I explored the channel a little and found all these long videos of random spots in a room or outside with the camera just mounted there for hours. I then sorted the videos either by most popular or oldest and found a new type of content buried in the channel. Fart fetish compilations. They had a lot of views too. Anyways, I don't know if these are allowed on YouTube, but I found it very strange that they switched from uploading those to just uploading these long titled videos of nothing. There also is a guy in some of them, and he talks in a few, but I don't understand the language. I kind of forgot about it till just now when I searched it up again, and discovered that there are multiple channels with the same content. I won't link them all, because there are a lot, but if you want, you can search Sex and Hotel and sort by channel. Now, all of the links listed on this Reddit post lead to deleted YouTube channels, all of them having been taken down for violating YouTube community guidelines. However, if you, like the Reddit post suggests, search up Sex and Hotel on YouTube and sort by channel, you find a lot of weird channels like described. This one seems to have a whole bunch of webcam feed videos. Usually it films nothing, but sometimes it films this man walking around. In the most popular video, you can see him strip down to his underwear and start smoking, and in the second most popular video, he turns off the light in the first minute and you can't see anything. The second video happens to be the only one with comments, and oh, they found me. Okay, shout out code word lolly, I guess. There are still other channels remaining that seem to feature the exact same content made by the exact same person doing the exact same thing. Hanging out in his apartment, sometimes walking around at night, sometimes showing off his night routine, all with videos that are primarily silent still frames that last for a considerable amount of time. And they always have some random girl as the profile picture, who is definitely not the person running the channel. I have no clue why someone would make a channel like this, honestly. I guess for fetishistic reasons, judging from the word sex being in the name, but it doesn't really do anything sexual in most of these, though that again, that might be why those other channels were taken down, so who knows.
True. I don't know, that one is shrouded in mystery, am I right?
David My Good Boy, David Guo, and David Gothic are all alternate accounts of the same guy, and each of these channels has roughly around 10,000 videos. One of the first videos on his channel, The Sky Pilot, has him mentioning that he's 13 years old. The video itself is also 13 years old, meaning he's currently about 26 himself, and he still consistently uploads. These channels are a little similar to Sex and Hotel, though obviously not nearly as sexual. Seemingly pointless webcam videos taken at random parts of the day. Sometimes he records his speaker playing random songs, other times he films his TV playing random kids shows, and he even seems to have taken an interest to toilets. Not in like a sexual scat fetish kind of way, but more like, you know, the way there are like channels dedicated to washing machines or elevators. Like the people who are just like obsessed with like mechanisms. He also loves logos, big logo guy. The most viewed videos on the channel, called David Guo in particular, are just filled with logo after logo after logo, all of which are himself filming his TV, not screen recording or anything. Unlike Sex and Hotel, I don't think this one is really much of a mystery. He's pretty clearly a developmentally challenged adult, and people making it out to be some kind of cryptic internet mystery are, well, kind of silly. Like, what do you mean you posted this channel to the Nexpo subreddit? Could you imagine if he actually did a video on that? Things seem to be going quite normal for David, posting his interests online for the world to see. But everything would change on April 24th, 2016, when he uploaded a new video, MVI 4977. Kohler Highcliff, toilet, Kohler Highcrest, toilet. What's in this video may shock you. It wasn't even Nexpo. That was like a Nick Crowley, if anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm having fun, you guys.
What the fuck was that? Alrighty. Let's keep at it. Alrighty.
Animations for You is a channel that no longer exists, seemingly deleted in the past 3 years, as the Iceberg itself doesn't actually note it being deleted. Judging from the only Wayback Machine archive of the channel, which comes from December of 2007, they actually seem to be a 16-year-old from Antigua and Barbuda, although it's likely they're not actually from there and they just picked a random country from the list, as Antigua is usually near the top alphabetically. Their videos seem to have been very political, the type of stuff you'd expect from Bush-era politics on YouTube. While we can't actually watch any of them, all but one of them seem to have to do with the September 11th attacks. Someone should probably tell them that it happened in 2001 and not 2000, though. Judging by the general appearance of these thumbnails and the fact that the channel's name would imply that they're animations, makes me think they might be like a edgier, more conspiracy theory-oriented version of those jib-jab George W. Bush animations. At least that makes sense to me. That being said, Potoplant specifically said that the channel was not only alive until pretty recently, but also active, uploading similar videos that are more relevant to modern times. While it sucks that the channel was taken down and we can't see what videos the channel had, it does line up with YouTube's mass purging of all conspiracy theory-related content across the site, so I can't say I'm surprised. Dewan Bulls is a middle-aged man from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who posts YouTube videos to his 6 identically named channels. On all of these channels, Dewan Bulls posts about how the FBI is out to get him, trying to torture or kill him, a very common belief in individuals with schizophrenia. He believes that they framed him for being one of the biggest drug kingpins in the city of Pittsburgh, which honestly I couldn't find any news article mentioning him, so I don't exactly know what he's on about there. It would seem that he takes frequent trips to the hospital. He seems to have a lot of physical illnesses too, like abscess wounds and an overactive bladder, causing to dehydrate and, in his own words, urinate himself to death. He even seems to have filed lawsuits against the FBI, which, I mean, you can probably imagine how that turned out. 3 years ago, all 6 of Dewan Bull's channels randomly stopped uploading, despite being a pretty consistent poster, having around 1,000 videos if you combine all his channels. One can only imagine what happened to him. Perhaps he got the help he needed, maybe he got arrested, or maybe he passed away. I couldn't find any other socials of the guy besides YouTube, so one can only wonder.
If I ever met Stephen Hawking, I wonder if I'd,
I don't think I'd want to be known as the person that embarrassed Stephen Hawking to his face. You know, a lot of people make fun of him, but that's on TV.
I wonder if I'd,
I don't even know what to make of the last post of the self-proclaimed kingpin who thinks it's... I said self-proclaimed because he's obvious. No, let me stop. But you know what I'm saying? I think he may want to be the... He might have something wrong with him. I'm gonna be nice. I don't know what to make of this right here. My brain is on 0 right now, so we're gonna keep pushing.
If I ever met Stephen Hawking, I wonder if I'd try and mimic him, you know, because I'm a very impersonable person in the sense that if I meet someone with an accent, I will pick up on that.
That's Stephen Hawking.
I want you to guess how many views that video we just watched has. No, really, guess.
How many views does it have? Let's go with, should I lowball or highball it? Let's go with 100,000. I want to go 10,000. All right, those are my 2 answers. It's either 100,000 or 10,000.
It's a video called Pregnant Hawking Hot Dog, uploaded by Pure Duration, a channel with under 100 subscribers, and is on tier 12 of the massive YouTube Iceberg. You probably won't believe this, but the video actually has 2 million views.
I'm just gonna upload whatever the fuck from now on. I don't need any plan, no nothing. I'm just gonna upload everything. I don't care. I'm uploading any random ass Minecraft gameplay with the most random commentary. I don't care anymore. And I'm just gonna name that shit Pregnant Hawking Hot Dog.
Why does it have 2 million views? I have no idea. It only has around 150 comments and far more dislikes than likes. It's also just a fucking weird video. Watching it makes me feel like I'm having a fever dream. Every video on this channel is like this. Random images, random sound bites, and random effects thrown on both.
The Stephen Hawking question is 562,000.
Both.
There's one called Godslayer.
Tied together with a completely unfitting title. Like 2 girls 1 cup reaction.
What's spread and goes around and round. What's spread and...
How about the final video on the channel? Reflections at the dinner table.
Our parents are just so proud of us that they stand on point as gracefully as the prima ballerinas. I saw myself and somehow like clumsy little bow-legged, are just so proud of us that they like even laugh. You know, I didn't follow.
You seem a bit confused. Maybe we should watch Pure Duration Find to help us understand this one.
Pure duration, a form of consciousness in which our ego abstains from a distinction between present and prior states. Pure duration, a form of consciousness in which our ego abstains from a distinction between present and prior states. Pure duration, a form of consciousness in which our ego abstains from a distinction between present and prior states.
Yeah, that just raised more questions.
When I'm looking like this, I'm looking at you guys. But then when I'm looking at the camera, I'm really looking at you guys. What the... Pure duration. What the fuck? The subjective qualitative experience of time where moments flow continuously into one another without distinct boundaries. So I guess that does kind of put the videos, it kind of makes sense with what the videos are doing. Ferguson sought to improve upon the inadequacies he perceived in the philosophy of Herbert Spencer. He believed Spencer's lack of comprehension of mechanics, which led Ferguson to conclusion that time eluded mathematics and science. Ferguson became aware that the moment one attempted to measure a moment, it would be gone. One measures in a mobile complete line, whereas time is mobile and incomplete. For the individual, time may speed up or slow down, whereas for science, it would remain the same. Hence, Ferguson decided to explore the inner life of man, which is the kind of duration neither a unity or quantitative multiplicity. Duration is ineffable and can only be shown to indirectly through images that can never reveal a complete picture. It can only be grasped through the simple intuition of the imagination. Ferguson first introduced his notion of duration in his essay Time and Free Will. Holy shit. Okay, well that kind of makes sense with what's going on in the videos, but like what are we supposed to be experiencing? I love how I read that and don't get it. Are we supposed to be experiencing some sort of time dilation? Am I really sitting here trying to understand this? Because I like all things consciousness, so I'm trying to understand what pure duration. Subjective qualitative of the experience of time, where moments flow continuously into one another without distinct boundaries.
I think this one's an art project that seems like the most likely explanation, and also the most boring explanation too. Maybe it's meant to be funny. It doesn't seem very in line with 2007 internet humor, which was when these videos were uploaded, but it definitely lines up with modern day internet humor. It kind of gives me similar vibes to that one video of Bart Simpson running around the house and slamming his head against the wall.
Pure duration, a form of consciousness in which our ego abstains from a distinction between present and prior states. Pure duration, a form of consciousness in which our ego abstains from a distinction between present.
Vibes to that one video of Bart Simpson running around the house and slamming his head against the wall.
I fucking can't tell what's going on. Oh, wow.
I still don't understand why this has 2 million views though. Are they like botted? Whoever's running this channel doesn't seem like they bought the views. I mean, their channel's been inactive for 17 years, so I don't think they'd really have a reason to do so. You know what? Fine, sure, I'll say it. This channel was ahead of its time.
Yeah, there's something about it. It seems like whoever made the channel, there's something deep to the pure duration thing, but I can't wrap my head around what the pure duration is. It's like usually my mind is able to find some sort of meaning within it, or at least how I interpret it, but I really can't interpret what they're trying to say. Like, we all experience time differently. I don't get it. I mean, which is true, we do. Like, you know, like it's like perception is reality, but I'm confused how it can only be witnessed through images. What was the thing about the images? I don't know. I'm not gonna try to understand it. I don't know.
BTS, which I instinctively read as Don't Hug Me, Time Scared, is one of the many channels ran by a man named John Melton Brady, who, in his channel description, claims to be the son of a carpenter and Mary, an obvious reference to Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
He also claims that there is an invisible great wall of evil surrounding him that prevents his videos from being seen by the outside world, which honestly he might be right. A joke, obviously, but for all the YouTube, Instagram, Vimeo, Flickr, and MySpace, and many other social media accounts he seems to have run for at least the past 15 years, he doesn't seem to actually have an audience. Not even people checking in to watch him go crazy. By this point, I shouldn't have to indicate that this guy is mentally unwell, having been posting crazy conspiracy theories and muttering incoherently into a camera since '09, and still posting to this day.
The Directive? What?
The Directive.Government seems to be an unfiction series created in 2020. The whole plot is based around The Directive, a shadowy dystopian government that has gained control over the United States of America and subsequently the world in the distant year of 2022. They apparently implant chips into people that can overview health and wellness of citizens, and they're focused on eradicating Christianity and other religions from the world in order to bring less division and make a place of unity in gender, race, politics, and social justice. And, you know, not to get political, but based on the language they use in the description alone, this channel kind of reads like an evangelicals Christian, thinly veiled schizo posting about how the woke is going to destroy the world. It's honestly not very well written. I really don't think an organization trying to gain favor would explicitly say that they're silencing the opposition. The channel has 3 videos, and the first one is a listing for government-mandated free housing in New Sakura Tokyo and New Antokyo, where you'll be sent to prison for not moving into. The second one is the directive reporting on how they found a Christian church called the Glimmer of Hope Church in Port Charles, Washington, and burned it to the ground because they endorsed slavery, racism, and were anti-LGBTQIA+. Oh, brother. The last one, simply called Node, seems to be kind of an explanation for civilians on how to use a public terminal. I actually kind of like the editing and music on this one, even though this one definitely seems the most aimless. The channel seemed to reply to comments too in the robotic way you'd expect an oppressive regime to do so, and that's pretty much it. They were active for about a month and then stopped posting. Must have gotten bored or something.
Facts. Buckle Monster?
Buckle Monster seems to be a weird animated parody channel, among other things. The first video that jumps out at me is Mickey's Trauma, where Donald Duck is portrayed as a pimp, I guess, and then he buys Mickey Mouse as a sex slave and then sexually assaults him. Then he dies by overdosing on pills, and there's this drug trip sequence. The description says that the uploader is a student at an art school in Belgium. I wonder if they presented this in front of a class. I can't imagine how that would.
That'd be crazy. This cartoon is a parody about the loss of innocence, sadness, and madness. The popular cartoon Mickey has a problem and loses his grasp on reality. What went wrong and why did this happen? This was made by me, a student, audiovisual arts at Cask again.
Would go over. The most popular video on this channel is called The Fuck Box 18 Plus NSFW, where this person pretends to fuck a cardboard box. Which, I mean, yeah, not a whole lot to say about this channel. They just have some weird art projects. Silent Blue Audio is a creepypasta that has since been taken off the creepypasta wiki, and the YouTube video associated with it has been removed from YouTube. While I couldn't find any archive of the video, the creepypasta has been archived on the Wayback Machine, and it explains the video pretty well. The author seems to clarify that they found the video themselves, so my theory is that the video came first and the author just decided to make a creepypasta piggybacking off of it. Basically, they found this channel with 2 videos that both seem to be broadcast hijackings from television, similar to the creepypasta The Wyoming Incident, or the real story of the Max Headroom Incident. The page graciously has a transcript of the video, which seems to be some person ranting about how all internet users and television watchers are stupid, and that they're gonna hack the airwaves and bring terror to the world and stuff. The story ends by saying the author's buddy Joseph knew a quiet kid at his school named Jake E. Roberts, who would go on similar rants, and apparently he took his own life. And of course, all trace the kid's name would vanish off the face of the planet because, shut up. And the video is called Silent Blue Audio, because the only remainder of this silent kid is shoddy blue film and a little bit of audio. That's so fucking stupid, I love it. Ito is an animation channel that probably deserved to be down here like 3 years ago when Potaplant made the Iceberg, but has actually gotten some level of publicity in recent years with their animation Hell is Cold, which got 600,000 views, and someone even made a video essay analyzing its themes. This animation is fucking awesome, by the way. It takes place in hell, characterized as this nuclear winter wasteland, and all the characters are represented by statues and masks and shit. I love the art style. The other videos on this channel are also pretty cool. They range from these really interesting Adult Swim style bumpers, shorter horror animations, and even some comedy animations too. I would really recommend checking this channel out. It's definitely one of the best horror channels on YouTube. A real hidden gem. I'm glad they got the publicity they deserve.
What is this?
On the flip side, Hillel is a channel created back in 2016. And, well, yeah, it's more ARG slop. There's 2 videos on the channel, and the guy posted comments and based fucking whatever. The most interesting thing about this one is that the title is in Hebrew, which reads right to left, so it was kind of annoying to format the script for this entry. I don't know, that's all I got. Take it or leave it.
Okay.
The name of this channel is actually how you spell okay in Swedish, which made it kind of really annoying to find. However, thanks to some help from a friend, I found out it was actually this channel, whose YouTube handle is okay1011. Unfortunately, there's not really a whole lot to say about this one. This kind of seems like some guy's personal channel. A lot of the videos on here are admittedly creepy, or at least trying to be creepy, but judging from the comments on some of these videos, I think they're just re-uploads. I like this video called Loat, though. Welcome to blank space Unicode character is a video uploaded by a YouTube channel with no name in 2021. Though the channel has since deleted the video, as well as the second part, we seem to have misunderstood each other. The channel remains up, and the videos have been archived by Potted Plant. Oh, I know that guy. He apparently loves this video. It was his profile picture on Discord for a little while, and the two videos are pretty much the only things on his re-upload channel. But what is Welcome To? Well, we start the video and we're met with static, and then this white dude. He says some cryptic stuff in a text-to-speech voice, stuff about how the sun is no—
Kind of looks like Anakin Skywalker from like the animated series, not the animated, but like the CGI. What is it like? I don't know how to explain the art style. It is animated, but it's like I don't know, from like the Cartoon Network. I think it was on animated.
no longer in the sky, and now it's a beautiful new day.
Look how bright the sun is in the city. Too bad for the people. No sky is here today. Dazed. Dazed. You live here, we were told. It takes a long time to hide. Where we are wrong.
People have theorized that it sounds a lot like the lyrics to Mr. Blue Sky, except it's put through Google Translate a lot of times. The series is part of an obviously very obscure ARG called Welcome to the Valley, which includes the sequel video, which is 4 minutes of static broken up by the guy in the first video talking for like 5 seconds. Wherever this was supposed to be going, it did not end up going there, which is kind of a shame, since while it did seem a bit directionless, it's at least, visually speaking, a lot more memorable than many other ARG stories. However, we might have a reason for why we stopped getting entries to Welcome to the Valley. The next video uploaded to the blank name channel was a video called A Thread of Light Crumbles, Leaving Nothing But Dust and Memories, which is a song. A 7-minute ambient track, which according to the comment section, is dedicated to Eden, someone close to them who is sadly no longer with us. It's possible that the loss hurt them to the point they no longer felt like continuing the story. Or maybe they didn't want people to only focus on Welcome to the Valley while ignoring their art that is far more personal to them. Truthfully, I definitely understand it. If you get the chance, go check out their channel. Their music is actually quite good, and they seem to still be active, posting a song once every couple months.
Alien hand syndrome?
This seems to be a channel dedicated to awareness of alien hand syndrome, a very rare neurological disorder where people will often lose control of their limbs, mostly their hands. Sometimes they'll do various involuntary movements like grasping or reaching at random things, or they even just get a general sense of unease that they are not the one controlling what their hands are doing. It sounds like a somewhat disturbing order to be afflicted with, but I'm not so sure that's why it's on the Iceberg. Most of the comments seem to be discussing two things. For one, a lot of people seem to mention that they came here from Scare Theater, but he never made a video about this. Rather, everyone's talking about a comment left on a Scare Theater video. Unfortunately, no one has the courtesy to mention what video the comment is on, or what the comment said. Like, anyone here from that one comment on that one Scare Theater video? Like, no, dude. No, I'm fucking not. The other thing people seem to mention is that the audio is fucked up for them, which is weird, because for me, the video is completely normal, both on desktop and mobile. Maybe this channel had a PK Temple of C script thing going on, which YouTube fixed in the past couple of years. I don't know. Do you remember the TriGIF thing from a bajillion parts ago? It was this 4chan ARG where a person found out about some weird cult of people posting videos of themselves torturing animals and children by searching up a random combination of 5 letters. And it turned into this whole thing. Nexpo did a video on it that got a bunch of views, and yeah, cool. So I believe this channel, ijim.exe, is either part of the ARG or simply piggybacking off the search term, since the word TriGIF is in every video title of theirs. The videos themselves are some pretty standard ARG stuff, and they contain a bunch of creepy videos and audios they lifted from
Where does the QR code go?
other places, and a QR code in the thumbnail. I scanned exactly one of them, and it led me to this image with a bunch of numbers. Boo! This shit sucks. All the comments of this video seem to be in Spanish because there was apparently some Spanish YouTuber who covered the channel. Besides that, yeah, not much to talk about here. The Scatterlink project at first kind of seemed to be an ARG, what with the binary in the first video, but yeah, I'm not so sure. Their Twitter page seems to be a super right-wing guy from Black Earth, Wisconsin, which is a real place with a really cool name. They seem to unironically be a Tom McDonald fan and tweet shit like, "I can't stand dog owners who don't clean the crud out of their pup size. You're as bad as Democrats. Take care of your animals for fuck's sake." Hashtag dog. Hashtag liberalism is a mental disorder. Hashtag liberalism is a mental disease. Hashtag dogs of Twitter. It sounds like a joke, but I honestly have no fucking idea at this point. Hi, my name is Crypto, and I eat liberals for breakfast. I think the YouTube channel is meant to be an art project of some kind, but unfortunately we only ever got 3 videos out of it, and none of them seem to be saying much.
I think after this one, I'm gonna end it here. Or maybe I'll go like 5 more minutes and then I'm gonna end it. I don't really have much to say. I don't want to give you guys any dry stuff. I'd rather come back when I'm like fully here.
Gene Scanner is another Cryptic YouTube channel with significantly cooler editing than a lot of other similar channels. The visuals here definitely seem to have a fair bit of thought put into them, and I especially like the music choices they use, opting to use copyrighted music as opposed to most ARGs and horror series, where the most they'll use is like some creepy noises. The most popular video on the channel is called Sitar, which spelled backwards reads Erotus. Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. By the way, it is pronounced Erotus, even though I said it like a fucking idiot back in tier 4. Yeah, Iceberg YouTuber learns how to speak English. Character development on par with your favorite shonen pro tag. Erotus pretty much ended up being an advertisement for the musical projects KFC Murder Chicks and DJ Roswell, which are both fucking awesome, by the way. So it makes sense that this channel is musically literate, assuming it's the same people. I'm not actually entirely sure if it is, but I don't know, it looks like it. I believe it, just like the commenters do. All-Seeing Advisor is a short-lived analog horror series from 2012. This one's most interesting not because it's super well made, but rather because it came far before the age of analog horror, predating even stuff like Local 58, but it has all the gimmicks and cliches of one. Broadcast hijacking, creepy face that shows up sometimes, and look, even the intruder's here. This is from the most entertaining video on the channel, response.avi, where the eponymous All-Seeking Advisor comes across a parody someone made about them. Oh my god, you're gonna do what to them? You definitely won't see something like that in modern analog horror. Okay, well, maybe you will. The video then shows off all these, like, these OCs this person made, like Mr. Black, The Null, and The Advisor. You see how they tried to slide off the screen there, but they get cut off before they can reach the edge of the frame? Yeah, that's how I know they were editing this in Sony Vegas and weren't very good at it. I really like this video, and by extension this channel. It's very try-hard edgy, and these characters are definitely what a middle schooler with a skull t-shirt and crippling addiction to the SCP wiki would draw in his notes. It also might be ironic, but then again, was irony even invented back then? I'm of course saying all this assuming that the parody channel was made by someone affiliated with the project and not some random child. If it was just some random kid, then yeah, I definitely don't approve of this. Like, what the fuck, that's horrible, but I also heavily doubt that's the case. Just recently, Soupy Soup made a video about the channel, so go look at that if you're interested. No Signal is a channel that got noticed because they began advertising themselves not on videos by Mutahar, but videos by viewers of Mutahar. It's another ARG, or at least that's how it's marked on the Iceberg, but the videos, I mean, they don't really seem to be very tied to each other. It's just like clips.
What's with all of them using like the fucking Morse code, like the binary with 0 and 1 code. I don't get it. Are they actually spelling out something?
From other places with binary text pasted over it. And then all the videos are titled shit like Bitcoin, the coming revolution.
I realized that Morse code. Morse code's the beeps, but Morse code can be connected to binary code, right? Is that what it is? I don't know. What is with the binary code?
Or the science behind social media and why it's so addicting. I don't care. Go check it out for yourself if you're interested. It still posts to this day.
Oh yeah, add that video game predicted the future. I swear people said that clip from Metal Gear Solid was fake. I don't know.
Go is a 6-minute long stop-motion short film that I'm honestly surprised isn't at least a little more well-known. It was directed by Italian animator Beatrice Pucci and released in 2008 before being uploaded to YouTube in 2011. As for the actual contents of the video, well, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. It's avant-garde and surrealist, and honestly, I'm not too smart or well-read enough to glean a meaning from it, if there even is one. You know what you watch Iceberg videos for. By now, you shouldn't expect high-level analysis and critique from me, at least not from this series. All I really have to say is that it's pretty interesting looking, and this happens halfway through.
It looks well done. Just want.
Oh fuck yeah, more weird public access shit.
With you. There's nothing wrong with me. Wrong with you. Would you shut up? There's nothing wrong with me at this time.
At least what I can say up until this point is I don't know any of these.
Nothing wrong with me. I'm trying to eat a fish. What's wrong with you? Trying to eat a fish and it falls off the plate. Would you shut up? What's wrong with you? You're bothering me more than a fish is bothering me. Would you shut up and leave me alone? What's your problem?
Yeah, that goes on for about 3.5 minutes. This video, Just Won't Eat My Fish, was uploaded in 2018, however, judging from the comments, it's been on YouTube for much longer. The video features this man trying to eat a fish, which keeps getting pulled away from him on a string. He gets increasingly aggravated by both the fish and an off-screen voice, which repeatedly asks him what's wrong with him, and what's his problem. I actually referenced this video all the way back in Tier 1 when I talked about the weird side of YouTube. Why did I choose this video in particular to refer to really deep finds we'll be seeing later down the Iceberg? I don't know, it had a funny title. Not everything needs to be that deep, dude. The full 10-minute broadcast that this segment is a part of has been uploaded to archive.org, and there they give extra context. The program was originally aired on Channel 9 Public Access in Tarrytown, New York during the evenings in late 1985. The program would then be brought from Tarrytown to Pittsfield, Massachusetts by Garrett McCary, the executive director of Pittsfield's Public Access Television, who just really liked the skit. Apparently, the What's Wrong With You skit in particular would be played in a fashion similar to the national anthem would be to end production for the week. That's fucking awesome. Now that is a patriotic way to end a broadcast.
That's actually sick. That's a good one to end on. Andre Ducens? I don't know. But man, all of these songs that he has been choosing also have been absolutely fire. I'm dying right now. I'm on 0. I really don't have anything to say. Some of the tiers are interesting. Some of them are just weird. But my favorite by far was the guy that was just posting weird stuff, because it kind of jumps back to what I was saying in the beginning. It's cool to just see everybody who's, well, even the ones who are a bit mentally not all there, post these things if they're not being harmful to others. It's cool to just see the art projects and stuff and the things that people post that are kind of just near and dear to their heart, you know, whether it has a deeper meaning or not. Actually, what I will say is the other one that got me is Pure Duration. Pure Duration is also a very interesting one from this tier list. And everything else, I don't know. It's kind of just what it is. Well, I will see you guys back shooting it. For you guys, it'll be a moment, but for me, it'll be like a day in between. But I'm done with recording the first part because I want this all to be one video. So, yeah. All right, love you guys. I'll see y'all when I'm back. With the power of editing, we are on day 2. I hope you guys took a lovely break. Everything still goes. I forgot my lines. Remember to be your authentic self. Remember to love yourself. Thank you guys for tapping into the frequency. Shout out to Swag, Potted, Elephant, everyone watching. Let's hop right back in. I don't have anything else. I think this is where we left off.
Andre Duquesne is another one of those channels where it's like a middle-aged...
I said his name completely wrong in the last part. Well, this is all the same video for y'all, so literally what seemed like a minute ago, but was an entire, 24 hours for me?
Or elderly person making surrealist animations, whether accidentally or on purpose. In those animation programs that end up making everything look like Second Life. You know what I'm talking about, right? Fred and Sharon Spencer, Kathleen Daniel, Casina77. Yeah, you remember those guys. Andre Duquesne is pretty similar in concept, albeit a lot more obscure than all those other ones. The dude makes videos about, well, what you'd expect an older guy to make videos about. A lot of tributes to pop culture stuff like Jimi Hendrix, the Three Stooges, Frank Zappa, you know, shit your dad would be into. His most popular video, and possibly the raunchiest one too, is called The Three-Way Kiss, and it features Britney Spears, Paris Hilton, and Pamela Anderson completely naked and making out.
Emmy winning The Traitors is...
I'm glad. I think I needed an ad on Peacock. The Traitors? What is this?
Wow. The Portimator, huh?
Wow.
You don't say. In the channel description, Andre reiterates that this is his older archival channel, and his new channel, The Decimator 13, where he's shifted to recording music covers, is still active. Unfortunately, this is untrue, and this channel is no longer active. In 2021, Andre Duquesne passed away at the age of 61, which is a pretty fucking young age to be dying at. At least his animations and song covers will live on, assuming YouTube doesn't delete them. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they deleted that last one, but hey.
I wonder if I'm gonna end up a 61-year-old man making animations like that. I'm just joking, obviously not, but like what?
This one's kind of weird. So the Iceberg chart has this Google Doc that I've been using, and the doc has these links to certain entries that have been hard to find. It's been a pretty useful resource throughout the past couple years, and I really appreciate its presence. However, this one seems to have led me astray, which really isn't good news for a channel named after a common 4-letter word. Clicking on the link led to this channel, Resumo do Jogo, which seems to be a Brazilian football page. However, taking a trip to our good buddy the Wayback Machine, we can find a screenshot of the channel's content. And yeah, it looks like some fucking meat morph shit. I don't know, man. This was definitely a failed ARG, and probably wouldn't be a super interesting entry if I had all the context. Can I get some slack?
You know what I'm actually curious about? I wonder if the failed ARGs that you said are failed ARGs, Swag, are not failed ARGs. They were literally just some random shit. I guess that has a possibility of being true, which I don't know if you maybe came to that own conclusion in your mind, but you know, because I'm just curious, is there literally this many ARGs that just never went anywhere on the internet? I guess it's also, or on YouTube, I guess it's also called code, which, I mean, that would make you think it was code for something, but like, you know, I don't know.
Cut for not having more info on this one, please.
Free games.
Ooh, this is another one I've been waiting for. Now, freegamesonline.info is a title given to a good handful of videos, which are all related to each other. Let's start with the one the Iceberg is referring to specifically, the one posted in 2018 by VLord. I know that this is the one the Iceberg is talking about because, well, I just do, okay? It starts with this text saying, free games, download free, freegamesonline.info, before flashing a bunch of super obscure and weird games on screen. The only one I personally recognize is Top Banana, an Amiga platformer that's infamous for looking weird as shit, despite the box art looking fairly normal. The video is set to a song people couldn't find for a while, but eventually identified it as a Finnish song, Through the Winds of the Icy North by Vagtor. This VLord guy has a couple more videos about the website, like freegamesonline.info promotional content, which features a bunch of videos of people crip walking to Diggy Diggy Hole. Another video with the same title by MB Uploads is a bit different.
It's just the crip walking the Diggy Diggy Hole. Imagine this is like the shit you seen like before you died. You know how like all of us, you know how there's the belief that you get a whole life review, and even some people who've had near death, or many people who've had near death experiences, talk about that there was some sort of life review and they were in this like what felt like space or room where their life was kind of like flashing before their eyes and they were kind of getting like pulled through all their life memories. Imagine seeing this shit on your life review. That's gotta be some funny shit. Like, that's gotta be some funny shit. Like, when I pass away, I'm going to remember the YouTube Iceberg, and there is so much shit posts on it that I wonder what I'm going to be seeing as just a spirit or soul or whatever you believe. Like, say you're just point straight Christian and you're going to heaven. What if God pulls up a chair and puts you in front of this fucking thing? Like, you remember Spino's cart? What the like? Oh my gosh, free game shall
There's also,
never
of course,
die.
this video by Angel of Disgrace 101, which is probably my favorite of the bunch.
ファッドカンの帰国、ラークスの通用、そして将来のイベントでフリーゲームの練習を本当に進歩していました。
Now I know what you're thinking. What is free games and what is freegamesonline.info? Because what it sounds like is a scam website, right? Well, not exactly. Going to it, we're met with one of a few random images. These images can sometimes be rather explicit or edgy, so visit at your own discretion if you decide to check it out for yourself. The image then followed by Free Games Online is growing, Free Games Online will never die, and then this blue smiley face with a long red nose, which is the site's logo and mascot. Clicking on him leads us to The Nexus, and this place is filled with a bunch of links to some shitpost pages. For example, Alberta, Canada leads us to a page with a couple of camel gifs, Black Sludge leads us to a page only containing this gif, and Slug leads us to... well, yeah. Secret takes us to a page that requires a password. The HTML code for the Slug page has a comment that says the password is 2 words, lowercase, no space. I couldn't figure it out, but I'm sure something interesting is going on in whatever that page is. There's also, of course, the free games page, which genuinely does have free games for you to download. with games that are pretty hard to find if you don't have the website, including Abyss Boat, a obscure Japanese PC survival game from the early 2000s, Pasosuke, a Japanese point-and-click game released in the late 1990s, the full ROM set for the Sega Pico, and Talk World, a virtual chat environment from the 90s that got briefly revived around 2019 as a result of getting a download link posted on this very site. A couple of videos even exist on the VLord channel of Free Games Online fans fucking around on the ancient software. Go check out What is Talk World by Sponge for more info on that. Great video by a super underrated channel. Oh, and of course, there's also a download link to the entire Johnny series, a 36-part series of surrealist side-scrolling platformers surrounding a protagonist named Johnny. The series was created by Kim Åkerström, better known as Kimberly Cubis, who sadly passed away in 2014. In his honor, the YouTuber and game developer I already mentioned early in this Iceberg, Saint, played through every game in the Johnny series one by one. Yeah, you remember Saint, right? The Schnell Online guy? Well, Free Games Online is actually his website, which is instantly recognizable if you know anything about the guy. Not only is the whole site littered with his interests, but also if you go to his YouTube page, a Discord link is in his channel description to a server called the Republic of Free Games. So yeah, not really a huge mystery there, just Saint's personal website. All those weird videos were simply advertising the site and were made by members of the Discord server several years ago, back in its prime. Most of the weird videos are really just inside jokes of people in the server. The server still exists, of course. I joined a few years ago and have been lurking there ever since, and it's not exactly the most welcoming place ever. If you need an example of what I mean, at some point some moderator changed my nickname to to this, and it's not like it really like hurts my feelings or anything. You know, I'm not gonna be gay about it, but it's definitely indicative of the culture of the server, I think. Kind of surprised the people on that server could tear themselves away from ironically jerking off to the Loud House porn to change my username, but you know, it kind of makes sense. That whole community, or at least Saint himself, are obsessed with keeping outsiders and zoomers and normies away from their in-group, judging from the way Saint acts about people like Nexpo and Vinny. Which, I mean, the idea of having a public Discord in the first place seems a little counterintuitive to that goal, but I guess it is a wider pool of people to mess with. I don't know, his mind must work in mysterious ways.
What's wrong with Bailey?
What's Wrong with Bailey is a channel that no longer exists, and there's not a whole lot of info about it online. It was originally posted to Reddit's r/deep into YouTube, where user FunkyBot described it as creepy-ass videos. Descriptive. Someone simply said, all I see is a couple of juggalos trying to be edgy. The OP, in response, links to the channel's Instagram page, which gives us a bit of insight into what the channel could have been like. They received some fan art for their videos, which they reposted to Instagram, all of which appears to be a person dressed in clown makeup or perhaps a mask, which explains the juggalo comment, covered in bruises and even in one picture tied up. What seems likely to me is that the videos by this Bailey person featured them abusing and torturing a clown masked person, and as their posts go on, they start to get frantic. I guess at one point they became homeless, and eventually accidentally killed the person they were abusing. Now, let's dial it back a bit. I'm 95% sure this was a work of fiction, like an ARG or whatever other word you want to call it. If it was a real abuse video, I doubt they would be receiving fan art and posting it on their Instagram. If you look at their highlights, there's a story called Closure, and it has them admitting to what they've done to their friends, and even saying they want to take their own life and explaining how they'll do it. They even went into detail about how they forced the person to roll.
Okay, if this is like edgy art, why? Is it just like edgy for the sake of being edgy? Or like, you know, because like if the chats and everything are fake, like Closure, imagine having to stage this or talk or act it out. I don't know, just in my own personal opinion, it's just like an odd thing to do. Like, look at this. I remember you telling me about that. Oh yeah, since we were talking about your vids, Emily pointed out something a while back. I forget if I asked you about this in DMs. Did you ever in your videos? Yes, of course I did. I couldn't help so. I assume so. Like, what? Is this real, or is this like the closure after it was a failed art project or ARG? I don't know.
Around in their own shit that they got turned on by it. What's Wrong with Bailey's last post implies that they're going to take their own life. I just think it's all a little too theatrical, you know?
Yeah, like it feels like literal theater, bro. I don't know. Some of these entries, I don't speak my real thoughts, and I wonder if you guys would have wanted that along the Iceberg. Me to say some of the most horrendous shit I think about some of these like things. Because I'm not going to get on anyone's art and what they want to do and how they want to express themselves. They're not hurting anybody. But then, like, of course, this is theatrical. Like, theatrically, I'm dying. The word theatrical started getting hyperfixated in my mind. Or I started to hyperfixate on it. Anyways, my point is this is so, like, it's played up. Right? And I don't know. Personally, I just can't understand where somebody finds entertainment in others, like torture. I think the iceberg has rotted me up into this point. I think I'm permanently rotted. Like I said, I'm going to see this in my life review.
The text conversations, while honestly fairly realistic, seem a bit scripted. And also, I couldn't find an obituary or a crime report or anything for anyone named Bailey Dublin. I think this is another case like the talking fetus video from the last tier, where it'd probably seem a lot less believable if the video still existed, but since they're, to my knowledge, completely lost, it gets extra mystique points. I mean, or this could really be someone who actually died, and I'm ensuring my place in hell with this entry, but I don't know. Call me a non-believer. I guess there is also the chance that it started as an ARG or horror series or something, and then while making it, Bailey did accidentally kill a person, but...
That would be crazy.
But, like, come on, at that point, I'm just making shit up in my head.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you all about that tier, or about that entry on the tier.
SHC is a channel which might as well stand for sucking huge cock, because this is a fucking boring entry. It was created back in 2005, making it one of the earliest channels on YouTube.
See what I'm saying? I think because of like holding back things I wanted to say about other entries or other entries on the tiers, I'm reduced to now like memory loss of holding it back. When he just comes out and he's just, this is why I've always appreciated Swag along this whole journey, is this dude just outright says what the fuck he feels about some of these. He's just like, SHC psh, should stand for sucking huge cock. Like,
all the videos on this channel are re-uploads from other places. What? Video from The Ring is literally the cursed videotape from the movie The Ring. Nazis is a German PSA making fun of Nazis. Surprise is a video of someone walking in on his roommate jacking off. Say What Again is a typography video of the scene from Pulp Fiction. Monkey Business is a short documentary about how scientists were able to perform a head transplant on 2 monkeys. And Hoof, Stefan Hoof is... well, I don't know what it is. Seems to be the only original video on the channel, and also the least viewed one. Whoever this is seems to still use the account to this day. Their favorites playlist even has
his created playlist is Severance.
Having a video from February 2025. Besides that though, not much interesting about this channel.
His created playlist has Severance on it. It's like he just went back to just going about his life and he's like, oh, I like this show Severance, her or him.
R426 Winnipeg is a Canadian YouTuber who exclusively posts videos of fire trucks driving by with their sirens blaring. I don't really think there's much to say here. It's just kind of a guy who has a hyperfixation on fire trucks, which isn't a super uncommon one, and I don't think there's much history in that community either, so moving on.
Interesting. Depressed Angry Bird.
This video is probably one of the most haunting videos on the entire website. I don't know what sick bastard thought it was a good idea to make this video and upload it to YouTube, but they honestly make me fucking sick, and their place in hell is definitely insured. Here, just take a look. Actually, I'm not even gonna show it. You can go find it for yourself, but I really don't want to subject all of you to it. And for those wondering, yes, I did show Septic 5 without warning, and not this. That's just the kind of video this is. It's that much worse. I really don't even want to go into the backstory behind this video, which makes the whole thing just 10 times worse. Bottom Plant, you can go fuck yourself for even bringing this video to my attention. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, the human race?
What? It just caught me so off guard. What? Should I do it? He's gotta be, I don't know if he's being for real. I don't know if he's being for real. Depressed Angry Bird. I'm like, when somebody plays something up, I'm so terrified. Like, I'm like literally terrified right now to look this up because I've put a lot of trust in the Swag. He caught me a few times on the Iceberg where I didn't think something was going to be an ARG or staged, and it was. I'm a little bit worried about this one. He said he showed, like, to use that reference point as using Septic, was it Septic 5? All right, guys, I'm on it. I'm on it right now. I kind of like want, I'm gonna check it right now. Just continue, guys.
Sean Jenkins seems to just kind of be a guy with a YouTube channel, not anything crazy or super interesting. His two most popular videos are re-uploads of Tatsuya Yamashita commercials from the late 70s and early 80s, which are both pretty awesome. Beyond that, I think he's on the chart for his various animations, which are really just him fucking around in Blender. Like the video Sexy.
If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, come on baby, let me know.
Ghostface Killa, not to be confused with the rapper, is an obscure YouTube channel ran by a most likely schizophrenic person. He seems to believe in the existence of a group called The Snake that has the ability to bend the laws of physics to their will, and are using it primarily to target him and fuck with his everyday life. The only discussion I could find of the channel exists on r/deep into YouTube, a post with a staggering 6 upvotes. One of the comments on the now 4-year-old post says that they found a news article that seems to line up with the man running the channel. And the news article, they say that the man and his cat died in January 2021 as the result of an apartment fire. Well, he does have his cat in his videos, that's for sure, and it could have possibly explained why he stopped uploading for about a year in 2021, but he came back at some point and still uploads to this day, with the most recent video being 3 months old as of writing the script. So yeah, probably a different guy. Stranger4747 Sad is an ARG, which is on levels of nothing burger that shouldn't even be humanly possible. The first video is called
I blanked out for a second.
I'm Sad with the description Help, and the second video is called Period with the description Why. I'll just roll both of them in quick succession. They're both like 5 seconds long.
I, for a minute, was gonna run and
yep, that's it.
throw my headphones
You just watched
off.
the whole series. Now, the first video, I'm Sad, was posted to r/deep into YouTube, and for some reason got 1,700 upvotes. The OP says they found the video themselves, and in the comments, the original uploader posted the words, "Help me, please." Not in Morse code, but a link in Morse code, which leads to the message in a Morse code translator. Some people call it edgy schlock made by a 15-year-old, which, let's be honest, is probably the case. Some go as far to accuse OP of being the person who made the video, which they deny. Hell, they even took his ass to r/karma conspiracy. Dude, Reddit is so fucking stupid. Others take it at face value, though. Some say it's really interesting and should be sent to Scare Theater or Rainbot so they can spread the word. Some even point out that in the video you can hear a stool being kicked over, and they express concern that the uploader may have taken their own life. My question is, how would they be able to post the video if you can hear them kicking the stool over? Like, shouldn't they be dead? Is that a fucked up? That's probably a fucked up question to ask. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Lord of the Flies, not to be confused with the book.
Oh my gosh.
Well, this.
That was a valid question. Did you guys read Lord of the Flies? I did. Did we all read that in school? Of course, this is what it is. Is it again like just some animation test? Like
Detoon is a channel that was created in 2011, and it has around 200 videos. The videos seem to be a whole bunch of glitch art, meaning that they take videos and distort them and create visual errors for aesthetic purposes. A lot of the videos look super cool. I definitely fuck with the aesthetic. Linked in the channel's description is Detoon's WordPress, where they repost their YouTube videos as well as post links to their SoundCloud, which is of a similar vibe. Neat stuff. Exposing Proxy Stalking Organized Harassment is another channel which is a part of the targeted individual community, who believe they are all being ritualistically gang-stalked by the government. This channel has around 2,000 videos, and all of them involve himself filming and taking pictures of random people and accusing them of being stalkers. I guess they're trying to reverse the perceived stalking that these people are doing, like, you know, fight fire with fire, but honestly it just ends up with they themselves looking like a weird stalker. The channel still uploads to this day, pretty much daily. Rare Bambi knockoff CGI animation is a video uploaded by Joel Rabbins in 2017. The video features this weird, poorly made 3D animation featuring forest critters. At one point, the deer gives birth to a child, presumably Bambi, before eating the placenta. The origin of this video is a bit contentious. The description says the clip is from Bambi, Savior of Animal Kingdom, released in 2003. However, I don't believe any such film exists, since I couldn't find the name anywhere else online. The description says that the clip was featured in 2013's The Thingy, Confessions of a Teenage Placenta, which in contrast is actually a real film where this clip might have been featured. Actually, yeah, it was featured in the film at about 21 minutes in on a TV. Joel Rabbins, the uploader, also happens to be the director of the film. I think it's pretty obvious that the animation was made by Joel in order to be used for the movie, and it wasn't actually a Rare Bambi knockoff CGI animation. Great dedication, though. He really didn't need to make a whole 3-minute long animation for something that shows up for like 10 seconds. Respect. Fucking Bullet Point is a channel created in 2021 and has about 13 videos, almost all of which are just a black screen with no audio whatsoever. I'm not kidding, literally most of this channel's content is literally nothing. Some videos have this like grainy Roblox screenshot, which I guess is supposed to be creepy, and then there's also this video by them, IDK Why This Worked. this is either supposed to be an ARG or it's just someone trying to test something out. Either way, I hypothesize that the person who uploaded these videos is no older than 16 years old, judging from their recommended section, but I don't know. The channel with lots of ats in the name is a channel that was taken down for violating YouTube's community guidelines. However, through the Wayback Machine, we can see it's one of those glitched channels. The name is way too long, obviously, and there's all these channel links too, and they have way too many featured video sections. I could have sworn we saw a channel exactly like this way earlier on the Iceberg, but whatever, I'm not keeping track anymore.
We did.
Motherfucker King ZJ is a channel that also no longer exists, taken down for whatever reason, who knows. Only one of their videos has even survived, which is this one, Anka Twerk Animal Crossing XXX 360p. Yeah, thank you to Joak1222 for archiving this. People in the comments seem to remember more of the channel's videos, such as Among Us Twister Fart, but that video is sadly most likely lost to time, and I did say sadly.
That's fine.
Balloon Industries is an
Uh-oh, we got a Illuminati one. Ooh. Okay.
Motherfucker King ZJ is a channel that also no longer exists, taken down for whatever reason. Whatever, I'm not keeping. Balloon Industries is an ARG about a company that's supposed to help people achieve full consciousness, and the company is offering a reward for anyone who has information about a man named Caleb, who is falsely claiming to be a representative. All the videos are white text on a black background, while a text-to-speech voice says some shit. I didn't really care to look through all the videos, but the very last one, uploaded after the chart was posted, is the uploader breaking character.
What the hell does achieving full consciousness mean? I'm the creator of the failed Balloon Industries ARG. This video is intended to address any questions anyone might still have about or have pertaining to my ARG. Wow.
Character explained that he lost interest and never finished it. He even says that maybe the real full consciousness was the friends we made along the way. This frequently asked questions section of the video actually gives a cool bit of insight into the writing process, where he was kind of just making stuff up as he went. Apparently, one of the videos on the channel just randomly got subtitles in Russian without the uploader's consent. However, when translated, they actually talked about a man named James Depkin for some reason. While this wasn't planned by the uploader, most likely a YouTube glitch of some kind, he ended up working it into the story anyways, and he actually named a character James Depkin. Same with the text-to-speech making some weird noise that fans interpreted as the word Joey, which also became the name of a character. Apparently, a small community formed around the channel, which, for as much shit as I give a lot of ARGs, trying to solve one in a small Discord server does sound like a lot of fun. Like, that's a very good way to form bonds and make friends, even if the story was a little undercooked and never got finished. Man, he wasn't lying. It really was the friends they made along the way. That's crazy.
No joke. That was their
Safe
one
Person
piece.
is a channel with 3 videos on it, all called Hi, I'm Debbie Harris. The first one seems to be fucking Ronald McDonald caressing a mannequin. The second one has the uploader dragging a knife over their legs, gently enough to not draw any blood, while the mannequin shows up again with its chest cut open. And finally, their last video is them looking through their window for a bit and revealing a wig on the floor. I think it's pretty obvious that this channel is some kind of an ARG, most likely inspired by Alan Tutorial. At least that's what I'm immediately reminded of. This Safe Person actually forgot to sign out of their account and started watching Project Zomboid videos, so yeah, my immersion is completely ruined, so I hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Like the other guy watching Severance.
Zakiel Xenophistophales is a channel that has been deleted. However, it has been covered in Cream Fresh's video, 5 lesser-known strange YouTube channels, quick oddities. According to that video, the channel has around 3,000 videos, all seemingly algorithmically generated, or with some other method of mass production. They're all called Deep Web and then a number, and they're all, as they put it, 5-second videos consisting of nothing but weird sounds and trippy imagery. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds about right.
What are they for though? I wonder what those channels are for. Like, is it something in overloading some sort of database within YouTube? Like, what's the point of doing a channel like that? I just wonder. Like, to break the site? Do the channels like that break the site? I wonder. I don't know.
Larme TV is just a guy who uploads weird animations. Besides that, though, he also uploads videos on Mugen of Godzilla fighting various characters. Mecha Godzilla versus King Kong? That's not really fair. You could have at least made both of them a robot instead of just one of them. Oh shit, my bad, never mind.
Facts. Reminds me of the latest trend going around, 100 men versus 1 gorilla. Who would win? Or 1 silverback gorilla? Is that what it is? Oh man, seeing the arguments on that cracks me up so much.
Martin Musatov is seemingly...
Mind you, 100 unarmed men too, so we can settle the debate. I really don't know. Who do you guys think would win? 100 unarmed men or 1 silverback gorilla? I don't know. I've heard a lot of intriguing videos on the matter, but again, when trends like that pop up on the internet, I kind of laugh at them for like a hot second and then just move on. Actually, since we were on the topic of life review, I can't believe that's going to be something that's in my consciousness when I end up passing away, and then when I'm sat in the movie theater of my life, they're going to play that clip of when I one day seen the 100 men versus one gorilla pop up on my feet. What the fuck has humanity become in like the last like century, bro? I don't even know, man. Or the last couple centuries, I guess. No. The last 100 years has been pretty insane. I feel like. I don't know. The age of the internet has been the most wild age I think humanity will ever come like close to, like moving into what AI is going to do or has done or is doing. I'm not sure. Which, fun fact, when the AI uprising happens, I'm solidified as a goat. AI will forever remember Lunar was lost as one of the allies. If any of these rogue AI go crazy, I'm gonna have some protectors. What am I even talking about anymore? Martin Mustav.
A California tech guy. Oh, cool. His Twitter's old enough to have a GIF PFP. Bada Plant told me that this guy is on the Iceberg because he claims he solved the P versus NP question in computer science, which, in the most layman's of terms, asks whether or not a problem that can be solved quickly and easily by a computer is necessarily one that can be quickly and easily checked by a computer for correctness, and vice versa. Now, did this Martin Mustatov guy actually solve it? I don't know. Truthfully, I'm not knowledgeable enough to go one way or the other.
Problem equals no problem. Huh? I don't know.
He seems to have a lot of algorithms and shit in his videos, but I doubt he actually solved it since these videos are all like well over 10 years now. Old enough to have Hey There Delilah playing in one of them. I would think that if he actually solved it, he would get some level of publicity, but the problem still remains officially unsolved. There's even $1 million reward waiting for whoever solves it. It would be kind of crazy if the solution to one of computer science's greatest questions was just sitting around here on a channel with 20 subscribers.
That would be.
Toxicity Death ZXTM is, from the looks of it, completely lost. I searched long and hard for this one, but nothing turned up, besides this person's archive.org account, which is completely blank. I asked Bada Plant, and he said that his cat ate the channel, and followed up by saying, all I remember about the channel is that its videos look really surreal, and its video titles are somewhat nonsensical and have lots of random emojis in them. Since it's insanely obscure, I don't think we'll have much luck finding out what it is until a viewer who potentially looked into the channel recounts what it is. So, hi. If you have any archive of this channel's videos, please let me know, and I'll talk about it in the next Iceberg part. Well, actually, this is the last episode, isn't it? Huh. Guess I'll make a community post or something. I don't know. Kenny the Cable Guy is a pretty obscure channel and was what started out as a fairly innocuous video. It's ran by Kenny, obviously, a dude with a super stereotypical southern accent as he talks about his day-to-day life. His first video, Practicing My Colors, has him explaining that he believes himself to be colorblind, so in order to test the theory, he goes out and points out what color each car is, and if he gets it wrong, then obviously that means he's colorblind. The second video is heartbreaking because he tells the story of how he fumbled a goth girl.
Well, hey everybody, it's Kenny here again. Well, this has to be one of the worst Valentine's days I've ever had.
He fumbled the goth girl. No, bro, I feel so bad. Poor guy.
I had a date tonight, and she was sitting right there, but she left in the middle of it. Yeah, it is embarrassing to talking about my date leaving me because of a couple harmless jokes on YouTube.
Truly a harrowing tale that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Next is why I don't show my face, plus my uncle's website, which gives us a bit of background on Kenny and his life circumstances.
That flag ain't mine. To me that thing seems kind of racist, I guess.
In this video, he says his uncle told him not to show his face online, as having your face publicly shown can have harmful effects on your general image. That's why today's video is sponsored by NordVPN. Not actually. That would be an insane transition, though. Holy shit. He also links to his uncle's website, worshipthewoods.neocities.org, which is deleted, but Wayback Machine tells us that the uncle is going to leave the internet in order to join a local Amish community. He thinks very highly of the Amish, I guess. Another video has Kenny showing off his thinking spot, which seems to be the local high school's football field.
Yep, this is where we used to have the big football games, and these are the bleachers we used to sit at, and that's where all my friends would kiss the girls under. And it was so awesome. I went under there one time to see if I could kiss somebody, And everybody laughed at me and said no. But one of my friends, Jamie, he said, no, you probably can't kiss anybody, Kenny, but I heard they have half-price nachos at the concession stand. So he was a good guy. He helped me out.
His next video is a music video for a song.
I want to say I feel bad for the dude, and it seems like some of his stories are like literally genuine, and he's just like a guy. I have no idea. Holy shit, he's just like a guy. That's what we've come to. He's most certainly a guy. I don't know what to make of this, because I feel like the moment I'm gonna be like, oh, he just seems like a guy who might just either be making videos or maybe has something mentally going on with him. So Egwin's gonna drop the bombshell that this dude's a murderer, bro. So I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Song called Dead Cat by the band Teen Suicide. It's pretty obvious by this point, Kenny is suffering from depression as a result of being bullied by his friends and family. So the pivot to
that's what I thought. Like, I kind of got this sad vibe, but I didn't want to say it like that because I didn't know. But a little bit of his tone and the goth girl standing him up, you know, I just got super distracted. Hang on. Why did I just what? Hang on. I got super distracted. Back to sad guy.
Getting really into depressing indie rock kinda makes sense. In the next video, we get to hear the uncle's voice, though he specifically requested Kenny put a filter over the audio so that no one can identify the voice.
Kenny, you gotta listen to me. You gotta be normal. Find some video games to play. Make some friends. You got something weird or something bad's gonna happen.
In the final video on the channel, Kenny is sitting alone in a bathroom.
Damn, he said you gotta make some friends, you gotta be normal, or something weird's gonna happen.
Tub with If I Cleaned Everything by Teen Suicide playing in the background. With text captions, he explains that his uncle wants him to stop making YouTube videos, but he doesn't want to as he sees his audience as his friends, and the only people who will accept him. Footage of Kenny filming the outside of his house is interspersed with clips of him in a bathtub with what appears to be blood splattered everywhere. This was the last video on the channel, and we don't know what happened to Kenny. One of the final posts on the uncle's blog says that he was visiting his sister, which would presumably be Kenny's mom, and he caught a glance of her browsing a message board for moms who have lost their children, even though he didn't recall her ever losing a child. He asked her why, and she couldn't or wouldn't explain. And that's pretty much it for the story of Kenny the Cable Guy. By now, it's pretty obvious that the whole story was just an ARG or horror series. I think everything lines up just a bit too nicely for me to believe this is a real thing that really happened. Part of me believes this was made by someone literally just to put people onto their music taste, but you know what? Fuck it. I actually really enjoyed this. Yeah, I like Midwest.
I have to say, this, from what I can recall out of the 1,000 ARGs that were on here, actually got me a little bit. If it is an ARG, it got me. I honestly didn't even think there was anything massively crazy about the story, especially when it started going into like the uncle wanting him to use like some sort of voice filter over his voice, whatever. It didn't really strike me as like ARG. I was just like, his uncle's telling him, hey, look, you got to make friends and go be normal. I didn't even like the uncle getting off the internet and joining an Amish community didn't even really strike me as ARG-ish. I just thought it was like a random thing thrown in there. I don't know. I think my brain is broken by the end of these. I mean, what a good way to end off the massive YouTube Iceberg, right? No, there's like an hour and some change left to go, so who knows what's next. This didn't strike me as an ARG at all, though. I thought it was... Why would him getting stood up? Like, it went from him with colors and what? And then it went from the colors to goth girl standing him up to... What the fuck? I shouldn't try to make sense of any of this shit, right?
Emo, so what? What are you gonna do, cancel me? I love when people take pictures of their house at night. It's cool. I'm being completely genuine, by the way. This is like probably at least in my top 5 ARGs we've covered so far.
Oh, yeah,
which is
it's a
crazy
good
because it's
one.
such a hidden gem. None of the videos here have more than 1,000 views, a ridiculously low view count for a pretty well put together little story. Definitely feels very Lonely Girl 15 inspired, what with the whole teenager in a small town dealing with shady relatives plotline. A friendly teenage boy dealing with isolation isn't exactly a new idea, but it's honestly really well executed. I found myself getting attached to Kenny. He's a very endearing and relatable character, and you kind of can't help but feel bad for him. Like, don't
Yeah,
worry, man,
exactly.
I've fumbled the goth girl too. It gets better. He's definitely a good person in a bad situation, which is the trope I always liked. If you watch any ARG or unfiction series I talk about in these videos, watch this one. This ARG gets my my Swegwin stamp of approval, which, you know, I'm obviously pretty harsh on stupid-ass ARGs, so that's a pretty significant thing to happen. Either that or this shit is actually just, like, simply okay, and all the others in this tier are making it look way better than it actually is.
No, this one didn't seem so bad. Yeah, it actually wasn't.
I want to get banged by a school shooter is honestly poetry.
I wanna get banged by a school shooter. Shoot some kids inside of me.
Shoot some kids inside of me. That's an amazing line. Anyways, this video is 2 minutes long and features this girl strumming her guitar and singing a song about how she wants to have sex.
You know, it's like, it like gets to a point. It's like, even if it's for the sake of satire or just like, but you uploaded this. You uploaded this. Now, the conversation of digital footprint is a tricky one. I honestly think most businesses don't really care, depending on what they would find on you online. I think if they genuinely found some concerning, like, we shouldn't hire you, or you could damage the reputation of this company type content out there, they would care about digital footprint. But other than that, I think everything goes. But this is wild. Your face is just up here saying this, even if it's a joke.
Sex with a school shooter. Now, I don't actually know if she wants to do that or if this is just like a joke song. She never actually mentions any shooters by name, which you would think she would do if she was really about that life. I don't even have any idea who this girl is, as this is a re-upload I'm showing, but I mean, it's a pretty well-written song. She has a nice voice. I can see why this is a re-upload though. I can't imagine singing a song like this would be good for like your future job opportunities.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, the reason I thought it was like satire is like you're making, I guess, my own headcanon that I was creating in my head, which is why it's called headcanon. Boof, get it? Did it? Okay, I'm done. Oh my God. Was that, you know, kind of making fun of people who fall in love or ideal, because that's exactly where my mind jumped to when I seen this, was all the, well, there wasn't too many, but the entries on the Iceberg that had communities of people or girls or even guys inspired by school shooters, mostly the women, we'll have to say, that like idolize them, which it's like, is this video supposed to be satire? And maybe she took the video down because it's like, you didn't want that kind of heat, but then also maybe you thought people wouldn't think it's a joke on that, or genuinely it was just a joke and not satire at all, but still a joke. Look, anyways, exactly. So I go in, again, same frequency. I imagine everyone is on the same wave with that thought. This can't be good for your future job application.
Makes sense.
But it's a re-upload.
Tits
so
Ass
what?
is a MS Paint animation about a dude who has boobs in place of his ass cheeks. It was uploaded by Studio Neverman in 2016, and yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this one. Can't even show it. It's 2 NSFW. Moving on.
Lovely.
Kei Oyama is an experimental animator from Japan. I don't really have anything mind-blowing to say about this guy that I haven't said for the other animation channels covered in the series, but his art style is super unique. Arguably, his most well-known work is Yukidoke, or The Thaw, released in 2004, which kinda just needs to be seen to be explained. The way everything is animated is super cool-looking and unique. It's gained popularity on my anime list from people trying to find the weirdest shit to put on their profile, and many there have gained a genuine appreciation for it, even though a lot of reviews are just some shit like, WTF did I just watch? I'm on that weird part of the internet again. Like, yeah, whatever.
Ashley,
Ashley Rockwell Hatcher is a woman who is severely addicted to methamphetamines. You can tell this just by watching any of her videos or listening to anything she says. Again, there's another one where I'm running out of stuff to say. She has mental health issues, takes a lot of drugs, and speaks in that word salad way of speaking, where everything is basically incomprehensible. She goes in and out of jail a lot, observed by just searching up her name, for things like falsely reporting a crime, to failure to appear in court, and also, you know, drug possession. It's a very sad situation, especially seeing the pictures of her from before she was addicted. Currently, she's in jail, but I hope at some point she gets the help she needs. The channel this was referring to seems to have been deleted at some point, but I believe this other channel called The POC is their newer channel. This is another gang stalking channel, as the channel description reads. This person, Erica Lorraine Spencer, says she's subject to domestic terrorism and psychological torture by the government of the state of California.
Okay, so sorry, I got stuck on that woman that was kind of addicted to the, you know, drugs. It's kind of sad because I think when I seen the arrest like profile or whatever, it said she was like 41, and he said hopefully she gets the help she needs. And a very, very dark thought I had, this pretty dark, you guys, was just that like 20 years in the future for her, she'll be 61, and due to her life choices, she probably doesn't have that much time left. So it's going to be a rough portion of the rest of her life. I mean, because again, you know, people aren't really dying that young because of advances in health and etc. and whatever. But I'm running out of stuff to say too. But it just made me think like, damn, like hopefully she does turn her life around in her final like couple decades of life. Maybe her body can fight off the drugs a little bit better. But I mean, when you're getting up there in that age, you really need to start doing some external care. Like your body isn't just going to rejuvenate. I mean, it's very possible. I don't want to get into that right. I'm done. I don't know what to say. It's just it's a dark thought. I feel bad for people stuck in that life, but they also chose it, you know. But I know they probably didn't want to get as hooked as they are. You just lose your mind. I don't know.
California, and the POC YouTube channel serves to expose the corrupt governments for stalking random citizens. They link a website which repeats a lot of the same talking points we've already seen. Like, I'm gonna be honest, there's nothing I can really say about these channels anymore that I haven't already said. Whether or not you believe they're mentally ill people having delusions, or they're people getting actually stalked, I can't even really say for certain. Remember the Review Bra stuff? That was like possibly a genuine case of someone getting stalked, and you know, it's not like stalking is a fake thing, so there is the chance that at least one of these people is actually a victim of it. Like truly, who knows? While I'm not exactly convinced by the evidence these kinds of channels put forward, I also don't know these people personally, so yeah, I don't know. From a Time Machine Somewhere When Yes is a channel that was originally discovered because of their tendency to spam comment sections with nonsensical messages. There was a post to r/internet mysteries about it about 5 years ago, where they found a comment by them that a bunch of gear emojis, the word visible, a bunch more gear emojis, the words copy and paste, followed by an archive.org link. This link is also in their channel description. The page is called #solvingreality and contains 9 PDF files. The main one to look at here is the first one, Paco's Magic Shoes, Time Machine printout again in globally OK is suddenly visible PSD yes.pdf, which is a gargantuan file, around 1,500 pages of just pure gibberish. A lot of really, really horny gibberish, weirdly enough.
What?
As she watches Paco as gently as she can and pleasures her licky tongue and her beautiful, gentle, kissy mouth at Paco's pre-cum gleams magnificent, gleam, radiant kissy for the virgin's lovely shy rehearsal, licky tongues, gently one lick each if they want. Yeah, you get it. In this text, the word creamy gets used over 2,000 times, the word juicy gets used over 3,000 times, and the word pre-cum gets used nearly 7,000 times. Apparently the whole thing is about a girl named May Dessa, but whether or not this was a real person or just a character made up in Paco's head is completely unknown. To my knowledge, the text in this document isn't repeated and was either typed by hand by Paco or generated somehow. The document also features pictures of Paco's face and his supposed magic shoes, another word that seems to be repeated a lot in his internet presence, along with Time Machine. Most of his videos are just screen recordings of the PDF or his other social media posts, which are also just screen caps of the PDF. In one video, okay Paco's magic shoe, okay all of the kind girls can faint globally if they want to, we can hear what sounds like porn audio, which I won't play here. But I mean, I guess it kind of fits considering the contents of the file. It's weird because whenever he's not reposting the file, he almost never talks about the weird horny shit. On a lot of the videos on the channel, you can actually actually find popular YouTuber Eudoxia Mysteries conversing with him in the comment section. Eudoxia seems to think that Paco here is actually quite intelligent and simply talks in coded messages for whatever reason. He actually ended up making a whole video on the subject, which I'll link in the description. As for my take on the situation, I have no clue. I don't really know what he's trying to communicate, but his ideas are supposed to be super complex, so I don't know. According to his Pinterest, the man's name is Paco Hayes. Looking that up, we can find an article from 2014 by Irish Independent about a homeless man with that same name and similar appearance to him, possibly even being him. In this article, it describes how Paco was sleeping in a recycling bin when he narrowly avoided getting tossed into a garbage truck. According to the article, Paco used to work in the sound engineering business, which lines up with his IMDb page I found. He did work throughout the 90s and early 2000s, and I guess shortly after became homeless. And then nearly fell into a garbage truck, and then started uploading YouTube videos and making this bizarre document. So, complete brilliance or mental illness? I have no idea. I don't think anyone has any idea. No one even knows what he's trying to convey. Like, at least just something like South 32, we know that was because Luigi Beyond just wanted to scam people and make money off domain squatting. But Paco over here, it could be some elaborate, insanely dedicated art project, or it could just be some mentally ill guy. Those are the two possibilities bouncing around in my head. But like I said, no way of knowing for sure.
See, that one seemed like it was going somewhere and actually had some like interesting guy. But then also, why does some super intelligent coded, I don't know, type of guy where he's actually smart and has something figured out, or he's hiding code within what he's saying? Why is it based around horny things though? Why is the man horny? I don't get that part of it. Why is there a video that could have some coded message, have porn noises in it? Wait. And then the Eudoxia, was that the YouTuber that's conversing with him and thinks he's actually probably extremely intelligent? It's like, but what is he doing? Are his videos supposed to be some sort of sexual hieroglyphics for us to decipher? Like, I don't understand. Like, why does it gotta be, ooh, licky, cream, licky, like, who even wants to decode a message through that unless the dude's like fucking cracked CERN's secret plan to, I don't know, divide the, I don't fucking know, open portals, like what? I'm not sure. And then that too, if he's the sound engineer, or like how he was tracing it to like, there's a Paco Hayes guy that was a sound engineer. It's like, I don't know. I don't know.
One is a YouTube channel that this guy on Reddit seems to adamantly believe is part of a real-life cult, which, like, they're kind of fucking stupid for thinking that, but this channel is still interesting either way. The video they link specifically is David Firth Cult Indoctrination Hypnosis, which kind of seems to be a video addressed to David Firth that's merely meant to be unsettling and a little funny, in the same vein as, well, you know, David Firth.
David Firth, we've been expecting you. Welcome to the end of the world, David.
Most of the other videos on their channel are vlogs and skits that have nothing to do with the supposed cult, and it was just them having fun with their friends. They're definitely not creepy, and I'm not shitting my pants from quote-unquote the whole channel. There are other videos on the channel about the cult, but they definitely seem to be in a jokey tone.
Our very own cult.
Cult. Cult is a bad word.
Everyone's afraid of it.
And fear is power.
We like power. You know why? We're a cult.
According to this guy, they actually are a real cult that, quote-unquote, does shitloads of psychedelics. He found their website, ourcult.info, which is currently down with no archive. And he also found a post by presumably the person running the account on Ika's portal, or Arion.com, which is, of course, a vor fetish forum. The person seems to be a very active member of the forum, posting a whole bunch of fetish art. This is the weirdest part of all of this, and, like, it's just vor. Like, what, do you want me to do a cartwheel or something? I've seen it a million times. I'm no longer shocked that there are people who want to get eaten whole on the internet. On their new channel, Hive System, they make videos about how they really want to fuck Dan Henschel. It's kind of funny, I guess. You know why I hate Reddit? Look, OP was like, let's see, there's their website, which I found by Googling, but sure, continue downvoting, which is already annoying enough. But then there's this other guy like, there's a small chance I had actually uploaded your post and became intrigued by the implications of your claim because I was curious where the evidence came from, but you're an uptight prick, so you get my downvote. Like, oh my fucking god, shut up. Both of you. Reddit is simultaneously the most helpful and most obnoxious website on the internet.
Oh shit. Oh my gosh. Oh dude, that summed up. Oh my gosh, hang on. Struggling. The hats off to you. Where are we at? That literally summed up some arguments or some fucking fights I see under like YouTube comments or in the YouTube comment section. Dude, oh my gosh. If that's like what a big portion of like Reddit's comments consist of, oh, that is the worst, bro. It's like the weirdest form of like know-it-alls. I don't know, bro, or just yappers, bro. I don't know. Oh, that always gets me, man. People uttering big words for the sake of just sounding intelligent. I don't know what it is. It is such a weird class of like individual. Again, they're not hurting me, so I'm not gonna judge, but it's such an odd thing, and it is one of the most fucking annoying things to be birthed out of the internet. Like, there are people that literally argue under YouTube comments like that and shit. Actually, excuse me, but from the implications of your your last thesis on the, and it's like, what the fuck are you? Why? What brownie point? Like, I wonder if it's like a jacking each other off contest of like who's more eloquent with their words, who's more of a wordsmith. Like, yeah, I found this post. I found this website that may be connected to the actual owner. Here, you guys go check it out. Go back, update it. Dan, the link that is broken. And then on the next side comments, damn dude, link appears to be broken. Something's like, hold on. Nah, I'm not even gonna go back and do it. You know what I'm saying though? Just sum it up. Like, hey, found this link, might be connected to the actual like page of these dudes that may do a bunch of psychedelics, or they're in Navore. Link. Oh shit, this is actually wild. Something. Link's broke now. I don't know. You know, like.
Help Me Get My Daughter Back, Please Help Me is a video uploaded by Please Help Me in 2019, and it's the only video on the channel. It's 16 minutes long and features this woman in complete darkness ranting and crying about how her daughter has been taken by the government of whatever country she's from. Sounds like she could be British or Australian. I guess at one point she split with her husband and he got custody. It's really hard to tell what she's saying in the video because the audio keeps cutting out and getting really quiet. And she's also speaking in a quiet, mumbly tone. I don't even really know whether or not to like side with the woman in this case because she could have had her kids taken away from her because she was abusing them.
Right.
There's no way of knowing. She never posted an update video and we have no idea who she is. Her profile picture is a woman with her child with the eyes blocked out, but who even knows if this is her? It was posted to r/deep into YouTube like a month ago. Dude's probably a Soygun fan, and the comments all seem to be discussing the fact that some rapper named Goonie put it on their social media, and also a Spanish YouTuber named Yoshi Meets Calion discovered it in one of their videos. As to the actual video, complete unsolved mystery.
Matthew Young.
I'd just like to say that nearly every entry for the rest of this chart has an NSFW tag, so viewer discretion advised beyond this point, in case needed a warning. Matthew Young is a channel that no longer exists, however when it was up, it had at least 2 videos. Only one of these videos has been archived thanks to the Wayback Machine, which is Self-Surgery 2. We can probably assume that the other video is Self-Surgery 1. As you might imagine from the title, Matthew Young performed surgery on himself. It's painful to watch, and it even looks like he's cutting his whole finger off. You can hear him wailing in pain as he does it. I honestly didn't watch the entire 9-minute video, so I guess I'm not really doing my job as a researcher properly, but like, whatever, it's literally gore. There's a reason it was taken down.
What?
Frog abuse is a video uploaded in 2008 by KevWill7. It's a monkey sexually assaulting a frog. It's not a joke, that's literally what's happening. Now, initially I was a little confused because I'd actually heard of this video before. It was for some reason a popular video a while back, or at least that's what I had thought, but in actuality, it was a completely different video of a monkey using a frog as a fleshlight. That video got so popular that it was referenced on a regular show. I wish I was making any of this up.
Whoa!
Weird Fucking Shit is a hilariously on-the-nose title for a video down in tier 12. This one takes it a bit further though by literally being a video about 2 pieces of shit having sex. Like literally there is shit fucking and it is weird. It starts with a man shoving out 2 turds and then the turds gain sentience and try to have sex before one melts for some reason and the other gets eaten by a dog. I hope Lizzie Solomon is happy that her first and last name is attached to this. Yeah, I went to her website and I couldn't find it there. Kinda weird. At least it wasn't clickbait. That was definitely weird fucking shit. Diarrhea Darling ASMR is in my search history forever, and there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, this is another self-explanatory one. It's supposedly an ASMR channel that uploads audios of just really gross stuff, like people blowing their nose, people puking, and of course people having diarrhea. The most viewed video has an impressive 100,000 views, which was a result of getting...
Sounds like it's raining outside. One second. I kind of want to check. It is indeed storming outside. Let's continue the video. I realized that I said we have an hour and some change. It's nearly a 3-hour video. What am I talking about? Look at how much. But I love it because there's still more to get through. So let's continue with the mostly NSFW ending of the Iceberg.
Being featured in a Shane Dawson video. Freaky bastard. Something I will say about these videos, though, is that the audio isn't super high quality, so either they don't understand what ASMR is, or they're just, you know, shit posting. RNG Donkey Factory TF3D 720p is a 3D fetish animation of a factory where human beings are turned into donkeys.
It's so weird to see this type of video on a God is Real 69.
I wish I could show you this one, but the animation just puts a bit too much emphasis on the penis and what processes are done to it in order to make it donkey-sized and shaped. If I were to explain it the best I could, let's just say that Zachary Stored would be very proud. Anyways, this animation was made by Rungarig.
Zach Restored, what a callback.
An animator who has a fur affinity.
He was trying to restore his skin, right? His if you use the word forward.
Their own website and even a wiki fur page.
And then proceed to use
a fucking wiki fur page. That's how you know they're an old head furry. Yeah, let's see, look at that art style. Dude is definitely chilling with Eric Schwartz in the furry retirement home. Dude definitely used to browse Crush Yift Destroy.
What is Crush Yift?
What the fuck am I even talking about? Anyways, yeah, this was definitely a weird one. I'm kind of shocked it's still on YouTube. Portlik Göz is a video uploaded all the way back in 2008 by YouTube user Kapasapak. The title is Turkish for googly eyes, and that's a fairly apt description. This video, which I will not show, depicts someone popping their eyeball out of its socket while breathing heavily. And that shit comes like all the way out. It's really disgusting. And like I've said before, I don't like eyeball stuff, so this was a pretty rough watch. I don't even know if it's real. Probably is. Maybe it isn't. I don't fucking know. Shit Tub is a video that's been deleted. However,
I'm so glad that there is not a slight, any slight possibility that Swigglin can show these on YouTube. Or even dares to show them anyways. Well, one, I wouldn't want his video to get taken down. But also I'm so glad that I just don't have to see that shit. Cause even the animation of the kid with his two eyeballs dangling out was just like, ugh. But oh man, somebody's eye actually just like,
The Plant has linked a comment on r/askreddit that goes into detail about what it was. Back when YouTube was pretty fresh, people flooded it with murder, CP, and lots of other really fucked up stuff. I only ever encountered one of these videos. It was simply called Shit Tub. It was a woman holding a camcorder, slowly panning it all over a bathroom. There was maggots on everything, the counter, the floor. She picked one of them up and played with it. Then the camera kind of half moved to the bathtub where a man was furiously fucking a woman who was laying on the bottom of the tub. She was grossly pale and looked very much unconscious, very likely she was dead. The quality of the video was really bad, but it looks like there was a thin layer of shit all over the bottom of the tub. Again, you don't get a very good look at any of it. The video's about 2 minutes long, and the entire time there's a man's voice screaming angrily at who or what is never made clear. I couldn't make out what he was saying, didn't try. Surprised I even got 3/4 of the way through the video. Didn't finish, it was gone the next day. People in the replies to this comment point out that the description lines up with a scene from August Underground's Mortem, a shitty direct-to-video horror film from the early 2000s. It had a budget.
I was gonna say, that sounded like horror film level shit. If there's somebody who actually did that, oh, dude. You were just purely disgusting.
Of $300, but still managed to convince people it was like a real snuff film. That's honestly impressive. Chris and Lisa Johnson in Love is a video that has been deleted with, to the extent of my knowledge, no known archive. Yeah, just completely lost. I have the link to it, but the Wayback Machine has this sign in to confirm your age page when you try to watch it, which means it's been age restricted. Potted Plant has a brief description in the comments of the chart though. It's a video of a couple recording themselves having sex, although the juicy bits are thankfully censored by the camera angle. And then after that, Chris comes and twerks to the camera for some reason. That's really weird, but the description also says that they have an 18 age gap, so make of that what you will. By which he means the description alludes to one of them being 18 years older than the other. So yeah, that's a little weird if true, unless they're like 40 and 60 or something. I mean, we don't actually know how old these people are or even what they look like, so who knows. I feel like by this point I'm ending like every entry with who knows or I don't know. That's how you know this shit's about to end.
Facts.
Blue Hindi film is a YouTube search term you at least used to be able to search up and just find straight up porn. Like in the thumbnails, pussy out, the whole shebang. It still kind of works, not really, but the thumbnails and videos are often like provocative, I guess. It seems mostly patched out though, and people will continue to find new and inventive ways to sneak porn onto YouTube for years to come. Bugo Girls is pretty much the exact same thing as Blue Hindi Film, basically being a search term you can, or used to be able to, use to find porn on YouTube, or at least suggestive videos. However, this one was a bit more malicious. Apparently, Bugo is this Indian video editing app for mobile phones, and the way Potaplant describes it, a lot of the videos are on YouTube with sexually provocative images of women, posted without their permission by creepy strangers. Obviously, I don't have any evidence of this, and this and the last one are like paper-thin entries because neither of these search terms work anymore, but it's the best I got, so sorry. Mentally Ill Dark Droid is a channel that joined in 2015 and seems to kinda just be someone's personal channel, someone whose most popular videos all involve wild animals dying. For example, Coyote Kills a Cat is a video of a coyote killing a stray cat. It is kinda sad to watch a video like this, but I guess it is the food chain. Dogs gotta eat and all. There's other videos, like 2 videos where the uploader cooks and eats a dead bird and a dead rabbit respectively, and also one where his German Shepherd fights a skunk. There's also dog with ball sack growing on its neck. For some reason, all of his videos have a negative dislike ratio. I don't know if that's just the extension being weird or people actually don't fuck with his videos, but from what I can tell, there's nothing explicitly wrong with them. He's just kind of weird. According to some guy on Reddit, this guy wrote a 13-minute Scientology fanfic about Jews and race theory with creepshot recordings of random women in public for the visual component. And he's also an Elliot Rodger fan. But yeah, I couldn't find anything else about that. Possibly untrue, but I'm also not so sure someone makes shit up to try and slander some guy with 700 subscribers on YouTube. There might be some like true crime story tied into this channel, but I personally couldn't find anything.
Wait.
Goatslaughter.mp4.
Wait. The guy writing about this, his fucking name is Don't Be Black, dude. I can't make this shit up. The guy writing this guy wrote a 13-minute Scientology fanfic about Jews and race theories. Watched a few more videos. Man, this guy's gonna bomb somebody. With an edgy ass screen name like Don't Be Black, dude. What? I mean, I guess that's what I should expect.
True crime story tied into this channel, but I personally couldn't find anything. Goatslaughter.mp4 is a video that's surprisingly still up on YouTube, posted by Shafu007 all the way back in 2009. It features a goat getting its throat slit open by 2 men, with blood just going everywhere. Now, the reason why there are so many videos of animals, especially goats and camels, getting their throat cut is that it's actually customary to do this in Sharia law. You're supposed to call the name of Allah and then cut their windpipe, jugular, and arteries, but leave their spinal cord intact. However, a lot of these videos, including this one, do a seemingly very poor job of killing the animal in a quick and efficient way, so you hear it crying out in pain for minutes, or at least that's what it looks like, and that's what people in the comments say too. And they sound a lot more confident than I do on the subject. Maybe the butchers just, like, don't give a fuck though. Waifu Basics 101 is a Japanese shock video released in 2015. It starts out pretty innocently with this young girl meeting up with her boyfriend. He cooks her some noodles, and a voiceover explains how to be a good guest. They're about to eat their dinner, and then the girl gets up and projectile vomits onto the dish as a record scratch plays. It's so fucking disgusting. Then they go to the couch and the couple start making out, and then she starts puking again, this time all over his face. And that's the video. I watched this video blind, and I wish I was recording my reaction. It really takes you by surprise. I reacted viscerally to this and had to like get up and walk around for a bit. I don't know why, but the septic tank video did nothing to me, but I just can't do anything vomit related. The video has since been taken off YouTube, but is very easily findable with a—
My girlfriend can't either. She doesn't even like the word being mentioned, so this shit would probably fucking send her into a coma.
quick Google search. If you're a fucking weirdo and want to watch that shit, like what?
Morgellons.
Alright, so Morgellons disease is the name of a YouTube video.
Morgellons? Whoa, this far in the iceberg, and there's at least a phrase I know. I want to see what it's about, and I'll see if I go into detail about Morgellons.
Uploaded by Noah Martin in 2010, but before I explain that, I'll have to explain what the title means first. So, essentially, Morgellons disease is the name of a skin condition. However, it's a skin condition you won't be diagnosed with from your doctor. This is because it's not really a real disease and has no scientific research to back it up. It's characterized by people believing there's like these fibers and shit growing from beneath their skin. They also usually have big ass sores on their skin that don't heal, although this is most likely caused by them compulsively scratching at them. Those afflicted believe it to be caused by some form of biological warfare carried out against them by, you know, the government or something.
And but doctors have, okay. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, hang on. Oh man, this is crazy. This is wild. Hang on.
Talking about it is pretty controversial since the science doesn't tend to agree with the people afflicted. It's more likely that the people who have the so-called Morgellons actually have something like delusional parasitosis.
Parasitosis, this is I was just about to say this. Okay, this is what I was about to say, yeah.
Which is a mental health condition and not a skin condition. It's usually brought on by schizophrenia or
I was just about to say they classify it as parasitosis, but I didn't know it was fully called delusional parasite.
amphetamine use, or a mix of the two, and that's where the whole "there are worms in my skin" and scratching themselves thing comes from whenever someone's doing like an impression of a meth user. Nowhere is this better exemplified than the aforementioned video which is on the chart. This person believes there to be Morgellons in their skin, and for 6 minutes begins tearing out chunks of their skin with a sharp blade. It's honestly fucking terrifying, the shit that some drugs will do to your brain. Perfectly healthy skin just being ripped to shreds over literally nothing. Yeah, this is a pretty disturbing watch. Dylan Thomas Puntney was a high school student.
Yeah, I'm not going to say any more about Morgellons, but I almost like want to save some of what I know for like fucking, I don't know, some like archive like channel that I do, something like that, where if you're really curious about some of these things, because I have come across that Morgellon, but not in the topic of the iceberg or anything on YouTube, but in something called smart dust. I want to go into it, but like I also don't. Something that's also, you know, I'll go into it a little bit, but it's also connected to this there was a video that a guy did a long time ago where he took a petri dish, I forgot what type of cranberry juice. It was some sort of type of cranberry juice that he just bought from the store. This was a very popular guy, by the way, like worldwide known guy, like big. I'm talking big. I don't know how. There is a channel out there that I am aware of, but I honestly just like don't want to mention it in this video, but maybe you could just find it. But basically the test he did was he put a petri dish under a microscope and he spit the cranberry juice into the petri dish. Then he poured rubbing alcohol on it and the shit started wiggling. And that's how I know of Morgellons, because this very popular guy in this video reached out to many doctors and tried to ask them what it was. And that's the first time I heard the term Morgellons and parasitosis used, because essentially these people that were saying that there was like fibers coming out of their skin was connected to this idea that this stuff was in the food we're eating, the genetically modified food, GMO, so that some of the food is causing people to like push these fibers out of their skin. And when you connect it all together, I mean, it doesn't necessarily not make sense. I do imagine eating a bunch of Red 40 or certain things like that, and a lot of things that are banned in other countries that are in our food could have some negative effects on people's bodies. Could one of the causes be this sort of these fibers that come out of you? I don't know. But this guy, mind you, who is very well known, I'm talking worldwide known, did this test and said he doesn't know. So he's seen people call it Morgellons, some people call it smart dust, some people call it, you know, whatever. Like, there's just so many names for it, or whatever you want to call it. But when he tried to talk to local doctors and stuff about this, they said specifically the experiment he conducted was parasitosis. Was like they didn't consider it a real thing or whatever. Like, it wasn't a real phenomenon, whatever was happening on the petri dish. But nobody had an explanation of why the rubbing alcohol interacted with the cranberry juice like that. I don't know if anyone else has an explanation. I'm not saying this is whatever, but when you see it with your own eyes, that's kind of what you have to go off. So I'm going off the pure experience of watching this happen with the video. And like, I mean, there was no explanation for what it was. But from the guy in the video conducting the experiment, which you guys would, I think most of the people watching the Iceberg would know who this person is. I don't know. People contacted him after that video and said some people have called him Morgellons and whatever. It was definitely a very uncanny video to watch, because it did make you think about the shit that's in GMO food. And apparently some people, there was videos around this time too of people pushing these fibers out of their skin, like their body was rejecting whatever was in the food. I'm not sure. Anyways, really crazy that ended up here. I don't know if that counts for something I know on the seer this deep in, but there you go.
Student attending Christ the King High School in...
I might have to go back. Who is this guy?
Ripped to shreds over literally nothing.
This is
this is a pretty disturbing watch.
Dylan Thomas Pountney. All right. Alrighty.
Dylan Thomas Pountney was a high school student attending Christ the King High School in Leduc, Canada. He was 19 years old, and in 2021, he stabbed fellow student, 17-year-old Jennifer Winkler, to death and was charged with first-degree murder. Strangely, there was no apparent motive, so investigators did research into his social media activity. According to the Edmonton Times, they found an Instagram account where he made a post showing a handwritten note written in blood. The note read, "I spill my blood to bring forth heaven on earth for the benefit of all. Thank you, Mr. Satan." Signed, Dylan Pountney. Honestly sounds like some 09A shit if you ask me.
Wow.
The article goes further in detail about Pountney's channel. In at least one video, he wears the same turquoise jacket he wore when police, some of whom were armed with carbines, pulled him from the backyard of a home on Robinson Drive. In a video posted to YouTube the day Winkler was killed, Pountney filmed himself smoking and drinking coffee in the passenger seat of a vehicle. Another man speaks off screen. Now, none of these accounts are linked on the article, so we actually have no way of finding them, at least his YouTube channel. I understand why they didn't. Makes a lot of sense, actually, but it would still be interesting to look at. But who knows? It was probably taken down by YouTube staff by now.
So what I want to say about the Morgellons, if you do find that video of the guy doing this test and then speaking on Morgellons, make of it what you will. I don't know. Freaked me out years ago, but that's all I'll say. Also about that guy, I have no comment because I just, at this point, people, evil things, and yeah, and here we go, taking life. Yay! Like, it's just foul. I don't understand it.
The face split dive video is a gore video.
This sounds horrible.
I'm not gonna go too in detail about this one. I honestly didn't even watch it myself because I'm not fucking Plagued Moth, but essentially it's a guy trying to dive into some water. His foot slips and slams headfirst into concrete. And then the video cuts to a close-up shot where his head is literally split in two and you can even see his brain. Also, apparently, he was alive for 2 days in this state, which is fucking horrifying and is why I don't want to spend too much time on this one. Moving on.
I'm sorry, that was enough detail, Swag. Oh my gosh, what in the hell, dude? That was enough detail.
Gunnar Runar 87 is a channel created by Icelandic man Gunnar Runar Sigurþórsson, which has a bit of backstory, so bear with me. So when this man was young, around 9 years old, his father took his own life by gunshot, an event that obviously had a very large effect on his life, and it led to him becoming extremely introverted. He only had one friend, a girl named Hilda. However, when he was in his 20s, Hilda got engaged to Hans Thor Helgason, the CEO of Goa, an Icelandic candy company. Gunnar was extremely upset by this and created the YouTube channel along with a single video in 2009 called My Confession to Hilda. In this video, he tried to convince Hilda to go with him and not Hans. Hilda wanted him to remove it, but he didn't, and it currently still remains up on YouTube to this day. A year later, Gunnar would be driving Hilda home from a party, and when they got to his house, she saw Hans' dead, naked body at the top of the staircase, and Gunnar was found to have murdered him. In 2011, Gunnar was found guilty and sentenced to 16 years in Icelandic prison, which honestly doesn't seem that bad. This case was a pretty huge deal in the country, since not only are Nordic countries generally known for very low murder rates, but also Iceland has a population of like 400,000. It's not a very big place by any means. Gunnar was apparently let out of prison early though. In 2019, he was spotted on Tinder and he now worked for the Icelandic Red Cross, but he denied to take any interviews. So yeah, he's just kind of out there. It's kind of crazy. Jimmy's Wish is a gigantic rabbit hole that I couldn't possibly tackle with the correct amount of detail and nuance, especially when I'm covering it as like one of the like 100 or so entries in this video. It's kind of the biggest flaw with the Iceberg format, to be honest, but as always, I'll try and do my best. Jimmy's Wish, now renamed to Jimmy's Justice, is a channel ran by a man named James Ryan and centers around his son, Jimmy Ryan. It's the subject of both a scare theater video and an internet investigator video and was popularized when it was posted to r/deep into YouTube back in April 2020. The general story that the father tells in the description of the very first video on the channel is that Jimmy was placed into a hospital when he was 11 years years old, and there, some corrupt Japanese doctors placed a plastic bag over his head until he became severely brain damaged. He ended up in a vegetative state and became dependent on the hospital and the life support system in order for him to stay alive. In this description, he goes into the intense detail of the state of Jimmy's body. He's now 18 years old, at least at the time he wrote this, weighs less than 23 kilograms, and is only 4 feet tall. All the videos on the channel feature incredibly disturbing imagery of his son in this state. His physical descriptions sound pretty accurate, as he seems malnourished and vegetative. The father later goes on to say that this was done by the government in retaliation, as he had apparently exposed some evil organization, and they blackmailed him by torturing his son and giving him brain damage. He also said that when Jimmy was only 2 months old, some more corrupt and evil doctors drilled a hole into his brain.
Did you guys just hear the thunder outside? I don't even know if I'll be able to record this much longer. I don't know if the internet's gonna get knocked out or anything. I'm thinking no, but anyways, back to this.
Tissue for experimentation reasons. It's definitely a very sad and somewhat bizarre story. I suppose everything he's saying could be possible, but the way he presents the information definitely throws up red flags. His videos are edited quite strangely in the sense that they have this like cheesy stock music, and he talks about it like I don't know, like a YouTuber would, you know? He won't stop asking people to share the video everywhere and sign his petition and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not enough to write the whole story off though. Even if it all does sound like a crackpot conspiracy theory, we're literally getting video proof of his son being barely conscious. That being said, James never actually puts forward any proof that any evil, corrupt doctors were responsible for what happened to his son. He says he received threatening emails, but never shows them. However, there is the first video, which is a 22-minute voice recording of the boy's mother and a doctor arguing in Japanese. Apparently, the doctor put a plastic bag up to the boy's mouth in order to help him breathe, which didn't suffocate him like James claimed happened, but rather it's simply an outdated method. Even if this whole plastic bag thing did contribute to the worsening of Jimmy's health, it's very unlikely that it was part of a grander conspiracy, but rather was the result of an incompetent doctor. People really aren't too sure what to think of this situation. Some people take it at face value and think that Jimmy and his father are really being attacked by the government. Other people think that he's a paranoid schizophrenic, and others think he's a shady businessman exploiting his son's poor condition for attention and money. In Scare Theater's video on the subject, which you should definitely absolutely watch for more background knowledge, he hypothesizes that Jimmy was diagnosed with a degenerative disease at some young age that led him to the state that he's in today. Jimmy's parents were unable to cope with the fact because, honestly, no one would be able to cope with something like this. Their child was once a healthy baby boy, and no matter what they did, they couldn't save him, so the whole situation kind of broke them, and they lashed out at whoever could possibly be responsible. It's honestly heartbreaking, and I find it difficult to find fault in anyone involved. Again, I would really recommend checking out Scare Theater's video on the subject. He covers it very eloquently, and even got a hold of James Ryan for an interview, which he handled very tactfully. His content, and especially interviewing skills, have improved dramatically since the, the Mox days. But like, fuck, dude, that is such a fucked up situation. All I can really say is my heart goes out to Jimmy and his family, and I hope things get better for them. Whew, almost there.
Wow. Tier 13.
And so we finally arrive at Tier 13, the final tier of the massive YouTube iceberg, the Marianas Trench of the weird side of YouTube. Some of these entries have gotten a high level of notoriety just for being listed here. They constantly get reposted on other YouTube icebergs, fucking internet icebergs. No, I'm not doing a series on this. It also happens to be the shortest tier, being shorter than even the very first. The videos and channels here are almost exclusively completely lost to time, so even though these entries are notorious, there's also virtually zero information about any of them. This is pretty much the obscure lost media that no one talks about tier. That's kind of why I wanted to do both this one and the previous one all in one video. Having the last video be like 15 minutes long sounded really anticlimactic. Maybe this tier is anticlimactic either way, but fucking, I don't know, whatever. On the iceberg, this tier is called the Zalgo tier, based on the old creepypasta monster. Do you know Schmorky made Zalgo? I always thought that was kind of crazy. Do you guys even know who Schmorky is? How the hell did you even end up here is the question this tier asks, and yeah, it's physically impossible to have seen all of these videos, so you wouldn't really be able to end up here and qualify for this tier. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into this and finish the massive YouTube iceberg.
Realistically, I think I stopped somewhere around tier 6, like truthfully qualifying for a tier. But oh boy, let's get it. Alrighty, let's get it. Animal Head.
Starting off the list, we have Animal Head. Animal Head is a horror series / ARG that was active on YouTube around 2017. The videos have been completely wiped from the internet and no one was able to get an archive of them while they were still around, but there's still evidence of the channel's existence in various places across the internet. For example, an article was written about it on the website The 13th Floor by Gregory Burkhart. Like many similar channels of a dubious origin, the unknown creators behind Animal Head offer the viewer a large collection of very brief, extremely cryptic video clips. These uploads, the first of which is dated August 17th, 2016, vary in length, but are seldom more than a couple minutes apiece. Many of the videos are comprised of a single shot, either from a fixed camera position or a radically roving point of view, and most of the recorded images
Let me get my...
tend to flicker in and out, sometimes cutting to a black or blue screen, or to bits of different footage altogether. When audio is available, it's often heavily distorted and isn't always synchronized with what's happening on camera. The article theorizes that there may be a narrative to the channel, something about someone named Amy being imprisoned by the person running the account, and that the person has plans to do horrible things to her. There are phrases used in the videos like, "I am going to wear you, do not reject me, do not squirm, you are nice against my flesh, I will use you, I will make you my own," which contrasts greatly with other videos like the one that includes excerpts from the Porky Pig NES game. As the article says, other recurring themes include brief excerpts from the NES game Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. One disturbing moment shows Porky with his eyes blacked out. This may be connected to an early clip which repeatedly scrolls the on-screen text, "Ishe isne otne eye einsway," Pig Latin for "she is not a swine." Definitely sounds like a weird ARG. Honestly didn't deserve to get lost when you consider all the shittier ones we've had to wade throughout the series. Now, you might be wondering where I'm getting this clip from a real authentic Animal Head video. This is actually from an Animal Head creepypasta reading video by Word of Chen, where they only briefly show some videos on the channel. These 3 videos have, to my knowledge, the only existing video footage of anything on the Animal Head channel. They also cover the official creepypasta tied into the ARG, which they link in the description. But guess what fucking site they decided to host it on? Yeah, mods deleted it because the channel it was associated with didn't exist anymore. I kinda get it, but I feel like it would have been better just to keep it there for archival purposes, but whatever. So, why was the channel deleted? Well, I doubt it was by YouTube's hands. You can go to the channel and it seems very intentionally deserted. Blank name, blank PFP, and like a picture of a bird as the banner for some reason. All things considered, they probably just got bored and decided to leave the internet. I don't know why they had to delete the videos in order to do that, but maybe they just found them cringe or something. Maybe the guy who created Animal Head now regrets making the videos so heavily that he decided to take them off the internet for good. We now have no way of knowing, of course, because we have no idea who created it. This is one of those where I wouldn't be surprised if it just got like magically found someday. Like someone had an archive of every Animal Head video just lying around on their hard drive. That seems believable to me. Oh, by the way, did you feel that? Feels like something shifted. Animal Head was the last ARG on the Iceberg. That's it. There's no more for the rest of the chart. Some of you are probably very happy about that fact. Brat Kids 2, Abusing Their Mother, is a video created by stand-up comedian and actor Harland Williams, who's most well known for starring in the 1997 Disney comedy film Rocketman, and also having roles in Freddy Got Fingered and Sausage Party. That's a fucking funny-ass lineup. Now, this video was posted to r/deep into YouTube, and Redditor Lava Meteor describes it as disturbing human-like puppets abuse their mother while contorting their faces and making disturbing gurgling noises. Now, this video has been taken down, and there's no archive of it available anywhere. The closest thing we have is this GIF on makeagif.com, which was also the site that helped me identify Camel Slaughter.mp4. However, you might notice that it's called Brat Kids 2. So, what about the first one? Well, going to Harland Williams' channel and searching up Brat Kids, we can find the original Bratty Kids by Harland. Let's take a look.
Kids? Mommy's in the kitchen, kids! Hi, kids! How was school today?
Honestly, I think Brat Kids 2 was probably just more of this shit without much variance. I have to wonder why Harland took down the second one but left up the first. Maybe it was YouTube seeing a video titled Kids Abusing Their Mother and decided that no way were they letting it stay up, even if it was some dumb puppet thing. I honestly don't think we're losing too much with it gone, but then again, this is probably someone's favorite video. 3 songs that suddenly stop and never end is at least a little out of place here, because while it was deleted at some point for violating YouTube's policy on nudity or sexual content, there is actually an archive of it, probably one of the only on the tier that has it. It's just even got a letterboxd page. But what actually is it? Well, The video seems to be a 240p re-upload of a 10-minute long Mexican short film, specifically listed in the credits as an Explosion Films production. It was written and directed by Humberto Busto, who is an actor, producer, and director who has worked on a handful of well-known Mexican series and films. The Iceberg claims that this is a student film, which, given that he was born in 1978, would make him 26 at the time of this film's release, which is kinda pushing it, but I assume it could check out. Of course, that's assuming the Mexico MMIV thing is referring to the year in Roman numerals. After watching it, I can kinda see why it was taken down. It starts with a man and a woman having sex. Not explicit, but I feel YouTube would be upset at the makers for putting in unnecessary sex scenes. Then it cuts to chapter 1, which features a dude getting stabbed. The second chapter has what looks like a guy swimming around in water and another guy rubbing a mango against his face. And then chapter 3 has a couple guys barking like a dog at each other while How to Disappear Completely by Radiohead plays. And then he starts eating some animal organs. The final shot is some guy walking around outside, and then it cuts to credits. Yeah, kind of pretentious, artsy shit. Weirdest thing about this one, at least to me, is the people in their replies on Reddit acting like it's the scariest thing they've ever watched, like it's a snuff film or something. This has everything. Nudity, gore, oddities. I don't even know how I got this far. Like, dude, relax. This post was most likely the reason the video got taken off YouTube. I've said how much I like r/deep into YouTube before, but the one issue I have is that there are some little worms who like to go into every video posted here and report it to YouTube to get it taken down. Thank you. Now I can report this to YouTube, winky face. Like fucking narc. At least we got an archive of it. There's an upload on YouTube posted about 6 months ago, but I personally took it upon myself to upload it to the Internet Archive in case that one gets taken down too. Link in the description. My parents having sex upstairs was an incredibly obscure video that was, once again, originally posted to r/deep into YouTube in 2019. A post was also made to r/lost media that describes the content of the video pretty thoroughly. So the video started with a young child wearing a Lego Ninjago mask, saying that his parents are doing it upstairs, and he would say that if he reached 100,000 subscribers, he would go into his parents' rooms while they were doing it. After that, he proceeds to show pictures of his mother, but it was obviously pictures of popular women's on Instagram. While showing those, he proceeds to do some weird, cringy, loud moaning for no reason, and people who watched the video were saying that it was odd and creepy, and they didn't even finish the video. This poster also says that they found one screenshot of the video which they believe to be the thumbnail. However, they never posted the screenshot, and even when a commenter asked them to, which is a little annoying. Apparently the kid also made fake giveaway videos asking for more subscribers. I believe his channel was probably taken down because he was too young to hold his own YouTube channel. You're supposed to be 13 years or older to have a YouTube account, and if you're younger than 18, you need parental permission. And although he never showed the act explicitly or anything, I doubt his parents permitted him to upload a video about them having sex. Call it a hunch. Multi-ergae takes this Tears Hole Lost Media theme a step further, because it's honestly unknown if this video even existed in the first place. The only mention of this video I could find that predates the massive YouTube Iceberg is one singular comment on an r/ask Reddit post. The post asked what the most creepy or mysterious YouTube video they've ever seen was. Most of the replies were the same shit you always see. Oh, there was this guy in a blank room and he was eating soup. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. But one comment, all the way at the bottom of the post, with no upvotes to this day. A year or so ago, me and some friends were talking on a Discord server. We picked on each other for fun. One of the guys is called Malte, a typical Danish name. We always called him gay, he didn't care much about it. On Discord, there's a bot. It is called Rhythm. You type the name of a YouTube video and then it plays it. We then said it should play whatever video came up when it searched for Multi-ergae. It's Danish for Malte is gay. We were very confused because the bot was playing, but there was no sound. We then followed the link and saw the video. The video was an old man staring at a picture of a bodybuilder. After a minute of the man staring, he gets up and pulls down his pants and begins to masturbate. The video was on YouTube for a while, but it was shut down half a year ago. Now, the idea of this video even existing in the first place entirely hinges on this one guy's honesty. This could be a real video that actually existed, but it also might not be. I'm kinda leaning towards it being real, honestly, since it doesn't really seem detailed enough of a description. Usually when people try to make something like this up, they add a bunch of details that up the disturbing factor and make people more interested. And well, you know, this is a fairly mundane story. Like, it's just kind of porn. If they wanted to make up a story to freak people out, they should have involved like murder or something. I don't know. So yeah, I trust this guy, but I think it's interesting that this is one of the few videos on the Iceberg where its existence is entirely unconfirmed. Hungry Tiger Hunts Hiding Hyenas is a 1.5-minute long video uploaded by Madaro Love 2 in 2017. As people describe it, it's apparently a video of a person wearing a tight tiger bodysuit pretending to maul a hyena plush, and the video has vaguely sexual themes. I was thinking it might be a Humanimal video, re-uploaded under a different name, like the Deer Man video, but I couldn't find any video with both tigers and hyenas. Do tigers and hyenas even live in the same area? Like, you know, like the real animals? I don't think so. Anyways, yeah, virtually zero information about this one online. Not even a plot summary in the Reddit thread beyond a single sentence. Tragic. And this is a video we don't even know the name of. It was once again posted to r/Deep YouTube with the title of Russian Man Vapes Cum, which kind of describes the whole video for us. Some guy speaking Russian jerks off and then puts it into his pen and vapes it. Believe it or not, I actually managed to find this video. If you look up Russian Man Vapes Cum, you'll probably find an iFunny link, which seems to just be the original video. And yeah, not showing it here because it's exactly what it sounds like. Thanks, Skyla Wolf. Warning, deer hit by train, graphic and disturbing HD. It was a video found by Potted Plant on some playlist. He put on the very first version of this Iceberg, but then it got taken down at some point and he lost it forever. He described it though as, well, a deer getting hit by a train. What else? Similar to the deer gets exploded entry from a few parts back. However, I actually managed to find this one on my own on the Asian site Bilibili. It's honestly a lot less graphic than I was expecting. In the video, the deer is already dead, so he just kind of gets knocked away by the train. Nothing too crazy.
Oh, lovely.
Two Peaches Suck Mario's Dicks Sex is an entry that was a suggestion given to Potted Plant for the Iceberg in a now deleted comment. According to the Google
Yeah, to read it just how it was put. Fucking swagwin.
Google Doc for the Iceberg, the comment reads as follows. A video of someone making sexual scenes with toys. In this case, two Princess Peach plushies suck a Mario plushie's cock, which is portrayed by the person recording rubbing the Peach plushies against the Mario plushie's crotch region. I don't know if it was unlisted, private, or what, but all I know is that I saw it on a playlist once and never saw it again. Later, the person found the link to the video, but of course it was taken down for violating YouTube's community guidelines, putting it into the Wayback Machine, and we still can't watch it because it was age restricted at the time of getting snapshotted. However, we can find that the real name of the video was Two Peach Sucks Mario's Penis Sex, and it was posted in 2018 by Jeffy. It seemed to have had around 50,000 views too, so it's not like this was a super unpopular video, so maybe there's some archive of it, but also I'm not too sure because most people who've watched this video are probably like Super Mario Logan fans, which means they're like 12 years old and are too busy picking their nose and eating it to have gotten an archive of it. Not that, you know, I really want an archive for this one. It of course was also posted to r/Deep on YouTube with the caption, "Kid makes plushies of Peach and Mario have sex while talking like a TTS bot." This one gets weirder as it goes on. I highly suggest watching the whole thing. The commenter here claims that in the video, Princess Peach was voiced by the kid's sister, which is pretty weird, isn't it? Had trouble controlling myself while watching. Oh my goodness. That's a horrible comment. Pigs Take Revenge and Killing the Man Who Raped was a video posted to r/Deep on YouTube in 2015. The poster describes the video as exactly as it sounds. Allegedly, a guy rapes his pigs and eventually they took revenge while he had his back turned to them or something. Rad shit, right? Rad shit. I mean, I guess so. People commenting even say that there are up-close shots of pig vagina in the video, which is just great. After the final version of the chart was posted, someone found a website containing the video, or, well, it looks more like the thumbnail since you can't actually watch it, which is probably a good thing. Muralanimal.blogspot.com is where this is from, and they most likely made the video themselves. It's a Brazilian blog, which is supposed to be an animal rights organization. Kinda crazy that if this really was a video that included a man having sex with an animal, it was even up on the clear web at all. Metafisica del Seso 2 is a channel that was on r/Deep into YouTube, posted in 2015, though OP says that the channel was a year old, meaning that the video is as old as 2014. The whole channel centered around this guy who secretly recorded shots of women's legs in public without their consent. And that's pretty much all we got. OP found it on PetiteTube, posted it to Reddit, and then someone reported it. Yeah, I think reporting it was a good call in this instance. Some guy commented on this post, if you find her attractive, why doesn't he just talk to her? I don't understand some people. And he got fucking downvoted. And then someone replied, because not everyone is as perfectly socially adjusted as you are. And he got upvotes. That's such a Reddit response. Like, did they just forget what we're talking about? Yeah, some people are just a little shy, so they need to, like, take photos of women without asking.
What the fuck? Yo, what?
Like, this is not a social skills thing. You just shouldn't fucking do that. This shit pissed me off so bad, even though this post is like a decade old. Michelle's Hair and Makeup Tutorial Part 2 is a Second Life trolling video uploaded by Derek Not a Fish in 2017. It starts out with Derek comedically playing this character who's a 15-year-old girl named Michelle, with the use of a voice changer. She does her makeup for like 30 seconds before Derek reveals that the video is a bait and switch. In reality, he got in contact with a 53-year-old man and tricked him into sexual roleplay. The man then plays out his crazy sexual fantasy in Second Life under the impression that he's role-playing with a 15-year-old girl. He kidnaps her, calls her his little captive, and then sexually assaults her in an alleyway. Derek apparently didn't feel like censoring the Second Life sex, which is why the video is no longer up on YouTube, and you have to go find it on BitChute if you want to watch it. By the end of the video, Derek turns the voice changer off and tells the man that he's being recorded, and the guy just kinda abruptly leaves the voice chat. The video is edited like your average trolling an online game video from the mid-2010s, and it's pretty cut and dry that this is just some guy playing virtual Chris Hansen, and it's a lot less bad than I thought. It's crazy that it was age restricted on BitChute. They had me make an account to watch this video on BitChute, and then when I did, they asked me if I wanted to purchase Smeg AI. Like, I'm good, man. Do you know how crazy that is, though? I went on the BitChute front page and found an image of a kid from Yemen, like, covered in blood as a video's thumbnail. That being said, it is definitely NSFW, and it's still a 53-year-old man aggressively sexually role-playing with who he believes to be a 15-year-old girl. So, watch at your own discretion. Alright, I'm not gonna show the name of this channel since I think it deserves to be private, but this channel is far more disturbing than anything in the tier so far. Now, this was reported on Reddit, this time by the subreddit r/YouTube in 2018, under the caption, CP on YouTube. Even the post was taken down by moderators, but it was archived on the Wayback Machine. The poster says, I never post on here, but just a few minutes ago I found a live stream of a child that's not above the age of 10, nude on camera doing really inappropriate things. He was taking requests like dancing naked on camera and even masturbating. The Reddit poster even posted an Imgur link to screenshots of the boy and his channel's name.
To those of you who said to prepare myself in the comments, you were not kidding. What is this ending to the iceberg? Oh wow, I paused at 222. What the fuck? This is wild. Anyways, let's keep going.
Which was done in good faith, I assume, but honestly wasn't necessary.
Sometimes I gotta like pause to take a break because I'm like, holy hell. Oh, I didn't mean to turn captions on.
I'm not even going to check the screenshots myself for obvious reasons, but they say that they don't include him doing anything wrong. The channel was seemingly reported and terminated pretty quickly though, so that's a good thing. Turdgasm, also known as Two Girls One Finger, is an infamous shock video which is kind of like Japan's equivalent to Two Girls One Cup. Stars two Japanese women shitting and making out and then vomiting into each other's mouth, and then they start eating each other's shit. The video is as old as 2001 and was hosted on its own website. However, an alternate version of the video was posted to YouTube for a very brief time in 2009, which features two elderly women doing the same thing as the original. Not much else to say here, it's just crazy this is up on YouTube at any point. The moderation was really just terrible back then, and YouTube and the internet as a whole were just kind of the Wild West. Babies Making Babies is a video posted to r/deep into YouTube in 2019. It's completely lost media, but thanks to the comments, we get a pretty good description of what the video was like. Apparently, it starts out with pictures of breasts and asses, and that's the majority of the video. However, towards the end, there are multiple photos of fetuses with a saturated filter, and then there are images of porn screenshots with pictures of baby faces poorly cropped onto the women's faces. Throughout the video, a song is playing, which is actually the only extant piece of Babies Making Babies media that exists. The song is, of course, called Babies Making Babies, and it was apparently made by Rad Chains, the stage name of Chad Rains, known for being a part of music groups like The Simple Pleasure and Cellular Chaos. The video was taken down as soon as Reddit got a hold of it, and this time people put up a noble effort to archive the video, but it got taken down from every site they tried to host it on, even Pornhub. That's pretty much all there is to this one. It's just a really weird music video, I guess. NBXJDDSCNN is a video originally posted to r/ScareTheater, and OP found it through browsing PetiteTube. Apparently, it was a very real video of a woman hanging from a tree in an Indian village. Either she took her own life or she was executed, as there's a crowd of people surrounding her, taking pictures and making a lot of noise. It seems to have managed to stay up for quite some time. This was posted to r/ScareTheater in June 2020, and stayed up for around a year before being taken down sometime between the first version of the massive YouTube iceberg and the final one. The video was, however, archived on the Wayback Machine, where we can identify the uploader as Sarup Khan, and the upload date as December 9th, 2019. And yeah, people's descriptions of this video were pretty correct. Not much more to say about this one, to be honest.
We used a spectrum savings calculator before. I learned that since we're existing spectrum...
What? Look at the name of this next entry. What is this?
Fernand Magellan was this Russian guy who ran both a YouTube channel and a TikTok, both of which have been taken down. Through the Wayback Machine, we can see what his profile picture looked like, which seems to be his face edited to be a mix with a lion's, and also some video titles like Superstar, Autopilot, and Joker. Basically, the way people on r/Internet Mysteries describe it, yeah, not deep in YouTube this time, it's different. It's a channel based around a super sketchy Russian farm. The user discovered it on their For You page with a video that depicts an unconscious man who has been painted blue being transported in a wheelbarrow by two men through a barn. They saw other strange videos on the page, footage, including a video of a field on fire, a large fiery explosion with the caption "Hell yeah," a car crash, and a lot of other videos of men who have been painted blue being humiliated in various ways. On the YouTube channel, they found videos that depict things like another painted man having his hair set on fire, and another man with blood on his face and a cut down his chest arguing with other men. People in the comments also point out that there are various videos of the men on the farm being covered in cow shit. The top comment is a Russian person who says that the channel is merely someone following the drunkards who work on the farm and documenting their antics. The dialogue in most of these videos relates to their alcohol addiction and how they plan to get better and not relapse. I guess the whole farm is like some form of rehab, like they sign up to get humiliated at a farm so they're forced to sober up. While this channel was completely lost when this Iceberg chart was created, about 2 years ago someone posted a Google Drive link to re-uploads of a lot, if not all of the videos on the channel. And yeah, people's descriptions lined up. These guys definitely look fucking miserable, and drunk guys who are getting forced into sobriety by humiliation definitely seems like an apt description. I don't know if this is something that happens in Russia, but I'm kind of willing to believe it. There are other theories in the comments about what this channel could be all about. Some think it's workplace abuse or slavery, and others think it's an example of trash streaming, which we talked about a while back with the Stas Replay situation, who was another Russian streamer. It's worth noting that even though we do have archives of all the channel's content, we still don't have a real definitive explanation for what's going on, though I am more willing to believe the guy who actually speaks Russian. Omega Kitten was a pretty strange and disturbing rabbit hole.
I'm sorry guys, I really have nothing to really say about some of these entries. I'm just like, wow at this point. And then when those little curveballs of like disturbing ones are thrown in there, I'm like not surprised anymore by this point in the tier. I feel like I'm just desensitized, but then I'm like, oh my god, and I don't even know what to say anymore. Alrighty.
It was this channel, right? It was active in 2021, and it's long since been taken down, but in the channel description, they describe themselves as a 10-year-old girl. A 10-year-old girl, supposedly named Jasmine, who is pro-pedophilia and CP, and her parents supposedly support her making videos about this as long as she hides her face. Now, to start with, I don't think Omega Kitten is really a 10-year-old girl. She does not talk like one, and although she claims to have a very high IQ, it's quite clear she speaks.
I gotta check something real quick before I have to check a time frame of when I may have to leave. I might have to make food too. I don't even know if I have time to finish this up today, but let me check. Oh my gosh, dude. What did I just hear, dude? Like, I gotta hear this again real quick. I was gonna cut this part for you guys, but honestly, I want you guys to... Oh no, I don't want to jump forward.
As a 10-year-old girl. A 10-year-old girl, supposedly named Jasmine, who is pro-pedophilia and CP, and her parents...
Pro-pedophilia and CP. We have heard it all, folks. What? Alright, let me check this shit real quick. What the fuck? Okay, I got a little bit of time. It's 5:13. I gotta leave by 6:52.
Parents supposedly support her making videos about this as long as she hides her face. Now, to start with, I don't think Omega Kitten is really a 10-year-old girl. She does not talk like one, and although she claims to have a very high IQ, it's quite clear she speaks like an adult posing as a child. Most of her videos are almost completely gone, but a few have survived through a video called Omega Kitten Hydra is apparently a pro maps miner by Buggin, which is like an expose video on the user. In these videos, a girl with a devil emoji edited over her face and text-to-speech voice talks about disgusting shit like how CP should be legal, or how maps, aka minor attracted people, are misunderstood. It's kind of a weird story because why would she even have a camera in her videos in the first place if she's just going to cover up her face and voice? Plus, the hand gestures she makes in the videos very clearly do not line up with what she's saying in the audio. The most likely explanation, at least to me, is that some creepy individual found clips of a little girl talking to a webcam and edited it to make it seem like they were the little girl, similar to the Pipergate situation from Tier 9. The cover-up story for this is that she's a child actor who could have her career ruined because of the controversial statements, and the hand gestures are different because a follower asked me to make these weird specific gestures. It's very obvious to me that this person was either a pedo themselves or just some troll who was trying to bait normal people into getting angry. Or I guess there could be the off chance that Omega Kitten was actually someone trying to lure pedophiles in to report them to the authorities, Chris Hansen style, but honestly I think that's being a bit too generous. So these are two separate entries, and I decided to combine them because they're basically the same thing. Plot Plant was informed about the channels from this Iceberg posted to r/Iceberg charts, which has now been deleted. There is...
That shit said cat grape. What? I mean, by this point in time, I don't even know if YouTube is well, if they're using AI or its little word to text feature. I mean, this video is gonna obviously be fucking like kind of mid. What is it? The gold symbol on the monetization thing? Cat grape? What, bro? Fuck, We're almost at the end.
There's absolutely zero information about these channels online that doesn't involve either this post or the massive YouTube iceberg. According to OP, ScatTube was fairly self-explanatory, literally just a fetish channel that uploaded videos of people shitting, and Cat Rape TV was a little less self-explanatory, being videos of people beating up and abusing cats rather than, you know, sexually assaulting them. My personal opinion is that these channels never existed. Not only are the channel names like kinda laughably indiscreet, even for their subject matter, but they also sound very similar and sound like something someone could easily come up with off the top of their head. It's a known practice in these iceberg images, especially older ones, to make up crazy sounding shit and tossing it to the bottom tier of your chart. It's a great bit because people will go insane trying to research it. I mean, the bottom of an iceberg is for obscure stuff, right? What's more obscure than something that only exists in your head? Usually people would do these as a joke or something. The conspiracy theory iceberg covered by Wendigoon is littered with shit like this, which he did manage to find a definition for pretty much every entry, either through random people online bullshitting a meaning after finding the chart, or Wendigoon himself bullshitting a meaning. But like, come on now. Did you really think pancreas denial was the real thing that people believe? just like think about it for a second. Half the shit on the Mario 64 iceberg is like creepypasta bullshit. Lavender Tanopolivius were cover-ups for Mario 64. That doesn't even mean anything. It's just words. Schnell Online was literally a fake game ARG where the starting point was an iceberg chart. Of course, that's not to say I'm really upset about the presence of fake entries on icebergs, because like I've said before, icebergs weren't always created for the purpose of completely accurate historical information, and also wasn't necessarily made for some dude with a monotonous voice on YouTube taking himself way too seriously because he enjoys reading off the Wikipedia page for each and every entry, or skimming through the first video essay that pops up, and then somehow still managing to get things wrong. This describes a lot of iceberg videos. Not all of them, but a good amount. I think it even describes my older videos too. I don't want to get on some fucking like the Max G type shit here, but I definitely think my older videos kind of followed that format when the iceberg wasn't necessarily for that purpose. So I guess moral of the story is that you're stupid for liking my videos.
Guess we can all be stupid together. Spelunky 2OST.
Now, these last 6 entries aren't really so much videos or channels, but rather meta/conceptual entries that relate to how YouTube works as a platform. So if you've been bracing yourself for precedingly disturbing topics, you can kind of relax your shoulders a bit here, since these last few were pretty tame. Honestly, the rest of this will probably just be me rambling incoherently about like concepts and shit. So thanks for making it this far. It means a lot to me. You want me to let you in on a little secret? Every single entry on this iceberg, every single video, channel, comment, and everything in between happened because some random guy discovered it and decided to share it with the world. Maybe it showed up one day randomly on their recommended feed, maybe they found it through something like PetiteTube or one of the other similar websites, maybe they just typed random shit into the search bar out of complete boredom, or maybe they were even a YouTuber getting emailed by someone about their super cool new ARG. But like, you know this iceberg doesn't cover everything YouTube has to offer, right? Like, 1,500 entries doesn't even come close to the amount of channels and videos that are on YouTube. Granted, I'm willing to bet a good, like, 99% of those are completely uninteresting and mundane and probably not worth talking about. But what about the ones that are? It's worth thinking about. There's probably some really fucked up videos or interesting art projects just publicly available that's been collecting dust in the annals of YouTube history. Stuff you or I couldn't possibly know about unless someone shared it somewhere, which honestly, most of the time they probably don't. Imagine if I had never shared the Manus Studio video that led us to Memory of You. Nobody would have even known that song had existed. That being said though, YouTube's recommendation algorithms are honestly pretty good at recommending stuff you'd be interested in, especially recently. A lot of people I talk to often find super low view videos in their recommended tab. Some complain about it, but honestly I really enjoy this feature. It's like having a mini PetiteTube at all times. But even with that, do you know how much fucking video gets uploaded every minute? Of course you do, it's the first fact I vomited at you in this series. It's 500 hours every minute. That's a lot of fucking video, and not all of it can be watched by people who are like making r/deep into YouTube threads and stuff. One interesting thing I think about a lot is how this all relates to ARGs. A lot of ARGs have their starting off point as a YouTube channel, right? They start posting some shit and hope it gets caught in the algorithm. Some people might hit up a YouTuber like Scare Theater, others might go into Reddit or 4chan and pretend to be someone uninvolved who just stumbled across it. You know, they really like to astroturf that shit, but other times people just upload weird videos and hope to God that someone notices it. And in those cases, sometimes it gets discovered and sometimes it doesn't. A handful of ARGs and other strange channels have done this strategy and it worked to some extent, but what about the ones it didn't work on? Just how many attempted ARGs have never even managed to get an audience and just aren't known to the public conscience? Like, really think about it. Just think about how many times someone has filmed themselves walking around outside, put a fucking grainy filter over it, and put Morse code and binary strings that read out shit like, "Help me," or "Praise Lord Satan," or "My heart, I loved her!" There are theoretically infinite meat sleep clones.
That was the best voice acting I've ever heard, Swag. Thank you.
It's truly terrifying to think about. And then you keep thinking, and you wonder what happens when one of those undiscovered videos gets deleted. That shit is gone, brother. Gone forever. I've already talked about the concept of YouTube lost media on the Iceberg before. I mean, half the fucking Zalgo tier was literally just that. But even more lost than those is videos and channels that no one even knew they existed to begin with before they were deleted. And at that point, it's not even a question of how do we find this video, because there really isn't even a question to be asked. We can't even perceive the idea of these being lost because we never even found them in the first place. That's why when it comes to lost media, you always need to know when to pick your battles. When people say they're a lost media hunter, it always means that they're searching for something that means something to them or other people. Like, yeah, sure, of course, people did that fucking huge search for the Bubble Guppies pilot because people like baby shows. Do people feel the same for a random video that got 3 views, 2 of which from the uploader? No, probably not. I mean, maybe the uploader did, but that's for them to look for. No one else has any reason to give a shit. Permanently lost videos / channels include shit like my old Minecraft videos. I really doubt anyone downloaded an archive of them while they were still up, since I certainly didn't, and no one else gave a shit about them because, like, they sucked. I have sentimental value attached to them, but no one else did, and that's okay. Sometimes shit just stays lost for a reason. It might be controversial to say this, but I don't think every piece of media ever made needs to be conserved, both because it's a physically impossible task, because, you know, again, 500 hours every minute, but also because some shit just needs to stay buried. The whole 99% of YouTube is undiscovered thing might sound exciting, but at best, these videos are probably kinda boring, and at worst, genuinely fucked up and disturbing. You see, why do you think YouTube's moderation has gotten so automated in recent years? It's because this whole idea of every single YouTube video getting watched by a human is physically impossible. I'll repeat the statistic again. 500 hours of video uploaded every minute. That's 82 years of video uploaded every day. YouTube moderators can't see every single one. They'd need like millions of employees sifting through endless hours of content, which is just impossible. They'd go bankrupt. So of course they rely on bots. Now, as we've discussed, the moderation bots aren't infallible. There's definitely porn that's been uploaded to YouTube, even in recent years. So in that case, their plan B is hoping that someone reports it. But if the video never gets discovered, then no one ever reports it.
What a callback.
And the video gets to stay up indefinitely. A good way of ensuring that a video never gets discovered is by simply unlisting it and only sharing the link with people you personally know and trust to not report it. Maybe in a private Discord or even in the deep web. When you really think about it like that, this whole Iceberg is only kind of surface level YouTube, right? Like, I learned about basically everything here through Google searching, through Reddit threads, and looking through the Internet Archive. I don't claim to have done any arcane methods of searching for shit, and if I did, I was probably hamming it up for dramatic or comedic effect. But as for unlisted videos that never had the link shared publicly, good fucking god, dude, anything could be there. Porn, fetish stuff, gore, even CP could have just been sitting in someone's YouTube account for the past few years. I mean, some shit really takes a while to get discovered, right? In this series, videos that were uploaded before 2010 were still showing up as late as the very last episode. You might think that YouTube would be good at cleaning that shit up, but to think that, you'd have to put all your faith into content moderation bots, which, yeah, you probably shouldn't do. Although honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't think people who want to distribute illegal content would use YouTube for it. Unless they're like, really fucking stupid. Like, if YouTube bots do manage to catch anything in that vein, then that person uploading would likely be reported to the authorities and go to jail, but there's really no way of knowing for certain. On a platform so big, I have no doubt that someone, somewhere, at some point, used it for such purposes. Like, statistically, it is likely, right? And the worst part is that if there is some unlisted illegal video still up somewhere, there's realistically nothing we can do to get it taken down. And even if a video does get taken down, you guys do know that removed videos aren't really removed, right? When a video is taken down by YouTube, it's merely made to be publicly unavailable. But every video that has ever been deleted off YouTube still exists in private servers, evidenced by the fact that some videos just come back, mainly the ones taken down for like copyright reasons. Okay, that one was kind of a weak transition, honestly. I kind of wanted to have all these 6 entries lead into one another without stopping.
Yeah, I noticed.
The link between these is kind of weak. Like,
that's exactly what I thought he was going for, so that's actually cool.
I don't really think YouTube is holding on to CP videos. I think some are actually truly deleted, but it's still an interesting concept. Even the most buried of videos are still floating around somewhere. The only way I could possibly get those old Minecraft videos back was if I had higher access to YouTube server, like if I worked there or something. And honestly, like,
if you're a New York homeowner
and really want those videos back to begin with, alrighty.
If I had higher access to YouTube server, like if I worked there or something. And honestly, like, Yeah, I don't care enough to do all that, but it's interesting that they still exist in some way, right? Nothing's ever really truly gone from the internet, it's just left accessible. I also think that this entry might be referring to the idea that almost everything gets archived. Despite what I said earlier, there actually are some shady websites that just have bots scrape YouTube and re-upload stuff. It's entirely possible that like Mario 64 Big Star Secret is sitting around somewhere on some website with a .su domain, and it'll give your PC like chlamydia when you try to watch it, but trust me, the video is still there. But what happens when YouTube runs out of space to store all of these videos? In March 2016, educational YouTuber Tom Scott, God rest his soul, uploaded a video called "Will YouTube Ever Run Out of Video IDs?" And like, I guess I can summarize this video for you guys. You can like watch it for yourself. It's only like 5 minutes long, but whatever. In this video, he tells us about YouTube's system for giving every video a URL. Each URL uses base 64 counting, meaning that it's kind of like hexadecimal or binary, except with 64 characters used for counting instead of 16 or 2. These codes are assigned to each and every video that gets uploaded no matter what. Even those pesky unlisted illegal videos that surely exist, and even those removed videos which aren't really removed. But what happens when we run out of characters? Well, we probably don't have to worry about it. You see, there are 64 usable characters and 11 places to put them, which means that there are 64 to the 11th power combinations. That figures out to 73 quintillion, 786 quadrillion, 976 trillion, 294 billion, 838 million, 206,464. That's enough for every single atom in the universe to upload a video and still have enough left over.
Jesus.
Wait, no, I overshot that. Let's put it this way. There are currently roughly 5 billion videos on YouTube in the past 20 years. This means we're at about 0.0000006% of our way to filling out every video ID. And it'll take roughly 3 billion years to fill out every slot. And by that point, the planet's magnetic dynamo may cease, causing the magnetosphere to decay, leading to an accelerated loss of volatiles from the outer atmosphere. Of course, that sounds like some
You know what fucking blows my mind about shit like this is like we live like 100, you get like 100-ish years, you get like 90 summers, let's say. And yeah, your consciousness goes on forever depending on what you believe, or you go to heaven, blah blah blah. But ironically, you just will not be around for the greenhouse effect, anything magnetosphere decaying, and like it's just funny that you know, okay, I always thought about this as a kid, not saying they're wrong or anything like that. They're probably just like of course running tests and whatever and following the natural lifespan of stars dying or whatever. But I always thought that, you know what's funny? Science exceeding like generations and generations and generations and generations and generations and generations and generations of people like, oh yes, in 1 billion years the sun is gonna fucking go out. But it's like, who the fuck's gonna be here to witness that? You know, like that's what I've always thought. Like, who gives a shit? Like, cool, man, the sun's gotta sleep too. Like, you know,
fucking nerd shit though, so I'm sure we can thug it out. And also by that point, they can just like add another character, and then we'll have to wait to make it to 4 sextillion. So, you know.
I love that. This whole iceberg is.
Alright, so here we are, one of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really, really, really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
Me at the Zoo is kind of a fucking awesome video when you think about it, right? Like when you really think about it, there was no reason for the first post to YouTube to be so like charming. You look at other social media platforms, and most of the first posts of them are very generic. Like the first tweet was Jack Dorsey saying, "Just setting up my Twitter," and the first post to TikTok was like some neighborhood scenery with no people involved, and the first Wikipedia page was Wikipedia itself. Boo. I like Me at the Zoo because it's significantly more personal than all the others. I mean, Javed isn't pouring his heart out or anything in this video, but it does have a great deal of personality. Something I didn't mention when I originally covered it is that the whole video is a fucking dick joke. Look at his little smirk when he says really, really long and then pauses for a second, trunks. You know what it's alluding to. He's making a joke about elephant dicks, which genuinely I think is amazing and encapsulates everything YouTube should be all about. I'm actually so glad that all those hoaxes over the years that claimed Me at the Zoo wasn't the first video were just, you know, hoaxes. Especially since the hoax videos were so much more boring. Test would have been a blank screen, and Welcome to YouTube is like fucking Ugh, so boring.
Yeah, it's like the Wikipedia page, to be honest. Like, welcome to Wikipedia type shit. So.
And I think, oddly enough, the channel description changing so much works in this video's favor. Right now, there's some news articles about microplastics in the description, but as we've already covered, the description has a long history of being used for Javed to commentate on various site changes. I'm sure most of you know that Javed was infamously against Google's decision to make Google Plus accounts required to use the site, and that he was also against removing dislikes. But did you know that for 2 weeks in late 2023, the thumbnail was changed to this? Javed with flashing red eyes, what appear to be AI-generated elephants, and a big red circle and arrow, clearly spoofing modern-day YouTube thumbnails with all their Mr. Beast-isms. Some people thought this was a hack, but it was clearly just Javed having a good sense of humor. That's a good segue, actually, because there have been a lot of times where the description was hacked for whatever reason. This only happened in the early days of YouTube, but it happens so often that you would think that Javed thinks it's entertaining. Like, you know, people promoting their YouTube channel, sub to sub, K thanks bye, remember that? And also, of course, teasing me at the zoo, too. Although, honestly, that might not even be a hack. This has been a rumor floating around this video forever, although it's really ramped up in recent years. There have been a couple times the video has been updated to hint at a sequel. In 2020, a fundraiser was started on the channel, saying that there will be a second video if the goal of $1 million is met. Some people thought this was a hack, but again, I'm not so sure. Either way, the fundraiser was taken down the next day, and no one said anything about it. Like, there's no way Javed would just get hacked so far into YouTube's lifespan. Also in 2020, the description was updated to read, "The first video on YouTube. Maybe it's time to go back to the zoo?" The fuck is that supposed to mean? It was also again updated with the same thing, but below it read, "Update video at 10 million subscribers," which once again people thought was a hack, but again I think it was just Javed having a sense of humor and making fun of those like YouTuber tactics. The video also had the description changed to a link to me at the zoo too, which ended up being a rickroll. There was also one where he said, "While you wait for part 2, listen to this great song," and then he linked to a Donkey Kong Country cover. Fucking bass department over here. Look at this shit. I've been waiting so long for part 2 and I am still waiting. Soon. Like, there's no way every single one of these is a hack, right? Javed's definitely a tech-savvy guy. He was one of the people who made YouTube. I doubt he falls for scams often, so it's a very real possibility. But if he does end up making me at the zoo too...
I forgot that, dude. Yo, okay, I like that the Berg is ending with this, because I feel like if he comes back for me at the zoo too, it'll be like an internet moment. It'll be, but it has to be so incredibly based. Like, I hope this fucking dude comes back and is like, all right, listen, the truth about YouTube, or man, this dude better drop the hardest, or maybe if he is genuinely a troll, he'll come back and it's like literally gonna be nothing, but it's fun to think about. It's fun to think about it being like a very, it would be a significant moment, because he's like, yeah, I mean, come on now. I don't even gotta explain this. That'd be really cool.
When do you think it'll be uploaded? Who knows? There's a distinct possibility that it could come out pretty fucking soon, considering the 20th anniversary of the video is either in a couple days or is today, depending on when this video goes up. Maybe it'll be a 20th anniversary special, or maybe he was true to his word and will only do it if he reaches 10 million subscribers. Which, I mean, he's currently got a long way to go. Maybe it'll happen once we reach the 73 quintillionth video ID and it will be the final video ever uploaded to YouTube. I don't know, maybe the fundraiser was real and we actually had to donate $1 million in one day and just missed out. Or maybe none of it was true. Maybe there never will be a Me at the Zoo sequel. Maybe the first one pretty much summed it up perfectly. Maybe that was pretty much all there was to say.
Monday CRM has the best AI features in the game.
AI. Oh. That's it, guys. Love the guitar riffs over here. I don't even know if that's the proper terminology. Massive YouTube iceberg. You absolute legend. Additional research hindrance Oasis behind it. Is that the tears like pictures made as Swaggus of Swaggus, the Mumbler. Always two of the names that stuck out to me. That's a septic tank. Hey, special thanks! Wow, Lunar was lost! Oh man, I just want to say to everyone, thank you guys so much. I can't wait for the next thing. I've seen suggestions being I've seen suggestions being thrown at me for what to do next. Elephant Man has given great suggestions. I've added some reactions I found in some of the comments to a long Excel spreadsheet, which I'm being honest to you guys, I don't even know what I'm going to get to, but I'm just going to do what's interesting to me and what you guys really think I should cover next. And I'm just going to see where things go. I'm going to go with the flow. I may honestly just do more of my mindset, motivational speaking videos, get back to reactions to game trailers, stuff like that. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I just like making videos. Does that sum it up? I really don't know what comes after this, but I'm going to keep just trusting where it is taking me. I'm so grateful to be a part of this because I met so many people through it. And yeah, I don't know. It's just another one of those things. It's like, I don't know. I think I'll always appreciate this. Like, I'll never forget the massive YouTube iceberg. I'll never get the, it's like you guys have these core moments. I'm not explaining anything too different fucking in my human experience. I've got these highly emotionally charged moments in my life that will always stick. And I'm grateful to all the souls met along the way of it. It's like, I'll never forget meeting Swegwin, Potted Plant, playing his little bald. Why do I keep saying bendy? Baldi's Basics mod, and being on the wall in there. I hope he can find so many more quotes and just put them in there. But they are quotes that I specifically said on the iceberg, so that's nice. And just, Elephant Man, everyone, I'm going to keep going in circles, but like I want to group it all together because to any comments I didn't respond to or I didn't get to, just to you guys too, because some of my older videos get thrown in the algorithm and I'll get comments on those, or I'll cover videos from a different creator that's getting a lot of traction and a lot of people will comment on that and the comments will just get pushed just because of how I decided to do my videos with putting out just so many different videos. It's like I'll still get comments from D&D that'll push the YouTube iceberg comments out the way, but and I try to go back to some of them and look. But yeah, I just appreciate everyone. Even if you're not mentioned, trust and believe I'm thinking about every single comment and I try to read as many as possible, dude. I don't know. I love all you guys. Thank you. I'm glad to have been a part of this. And I'm glad to have made it to the end because this happened to me during the Wendigoon's conspiracy theory iceberg and Critical Role too. I didn't think I'd end up watching a full campaign, but if you do the math, they had, I think, 100 and something episodes that were sometimes 4 to 6 hours each. And I watched that entire thing and not only edited down some of the episodes of 4-hour edits, or not 4-hour edits. The edits took me kind of long to cut up specific points, but like for the iceberg, I left it kind of completely raw, a raw watch through. But like when I was doing that, I didn't think I would get to some of the end of the campaigns, but I knew I loved it so much that I would keep watching, but I didn't know if I would get to the end of that and be able to even show everybody. So I don't even know, because I said I would go and watch campaign 1 and watch the entire thing, but I was just like, I ended up saying, I think in one video somewhere that, okay, I don't know if I could do that. It'd be crazy. But to watch campaign 1 of a D&D campaign. And also it was their starting out days. So it's like, it's like close to the hearts of the individuals that were following Critical Role when they first started, but from people in that community that told me their first like 1 to 37 episodes is kind of rough. It would be rough to watch because it was kind of just like a thing they did for Liam's birthday. But anyway, sorry, I'm going off track. But what I just why I'm saying this is that I didn't know if I would get all the way to the end of this shit. I was like, can I actually? Because not gonna lie, some of the disturbing stuff on here was just like, oh my gosh, I felt like I needed to cleanse after hearing some of it. I was disturbed, and also consuming so much of the content. I didn't want to get lost and forget certain things. But it honestly was more just like a casual watching experience. I don't think anyone expects you to remember every single entry in every single tier. But I had a blast, dude. This was freaking awesome. All good things come to an end, right? All my other friends and family and fans who supported me on this video. Stay tuned for more videos. KOT. I don't know what the KOT meant at the end. What the fuck? Look at this. We made it. What is this next video? Is this on Swigman's channel? Oh yeah, streamed 10 days ago. Thank you for visiting my schoolhouse. Oh, did he play the schoolhouse on stream? If you're wondering what that is, it's the ad. It's a Hero Wars ad. Weird girls moaning, alright. Or I don't want to say weird girls moaning.
Re-entry on the massive YouTube Iceberg, and it apparently has 1,000+ entries. Not only you absolutely love the series and you want it to look more. I don't know what these coins. Do I need to?
Dude, Awubis was so annoying in this. I know I'm blocking my face. I kind of wanted to see if he went to the LUNARWASLOST wall or past it, but anyways, I would just like to say special shout out to everyone, honestly. Like, let's just make this final thing a special shout out. I fucking love you guys. Thank you. It has been wild to consume all of the things that I did not know existed on YouTube, and some things that I could have lived the rest of my life without knowing ever existed. Now, when I end up in the pearly gates, I'm gonna fucking see the septic tank man, or I'm gonna see some, like, I don't know, of the roster of all the school shooters. I don't know. Like, man, it was a wild journey. Love you guys. I really don't know what's next. Holy shit. It's been 3 years for Swegwin, and probably even longer for like Potted, for like just like witnessing all of this take place. I don't know if it was roughly the same time. And it's been a year for me. I think a little bit over a year now. Whew. It's wild, man. God. Thank you guys for all the memories, and seriously, you guys will, I mean, I'll never forget this as a part. It would be so cool to look back and be like, holy shit, like, I remember when I started this. Like, it's crazy, you guys. Like, my life has literally, like, I started this when I lived out in Texas. Like, that's insane to think about. And there was so much going on in my life. So it was like, it just was crazy. I don't know. I appreciate you guys. And Elephant Man, I appreciate you for bringing again, without you, I don't know if somebody else in the multiverse would cause this to happen. If not you, someone else, but you were the person in this timeline. So I appreciate you. And I appreciate Swegwin for being so cool. I think one of the things I'll never forget that I thought was just so cool, because the stigma around reaction videos was like, I think there was a comment one day where somebody was like, just saying like, you know, oh, you know, piggybacking off of like what some other guy is doing. And, you know, I felt bad because I'm like, it's really not what I'm doing. I genuinely love this. And it's like, if you watch my video, like, you guys have to click the video and watch it. And for it to do anything, and like, it really, views don't really mean anything to me anyways. So it's just like, that's just really not what it is. But I remember when I think Elephant Man and Swag came full force to my defense in the comments. And that just honestly made me feel good, even though I didn't need it and didn't really care for the dude's opinion. But, you know, it helped me not to give up on the whole idea of doing videos like this, like watching videos. 'Cause I genuinely just like watching it and watching content and yapping, or even making my own like commentaries. And I can't even really call them commentaries. I really honestly just talk about my spiritual stuff, and I don't know. And again, aside from game trailers, because I don't really react to people's content. Again, every single video I've done on the channel, mostly for the most part, is recommended by someone. I don't just go find content to piggyback off. But anyways, much love in Moonlight. It's over. And that is it. That's all she wrote. Peace, guys. And I don't know. That's it. I really don't know what to say. It's crazy that this is coming to an end. I don't know. I like, what's the next chapter now? This has been a part of my life now for like the past year and some change. Now I don't know what comes next. Come next. Bye, guys.